Hey, what's up, everybody? This week I've got the distinct pleasure and honor of having my friend of 17 years, Ryan Harper, owner-operator Harper Belmont, on the show here at the Table of Truth. We're going to chop it up and talk everything entrepreneurship, real estate investing, overcoming adversity, Ryan's favorite topic, and many other things. His background in the armed forces, his cheerleading and rugby and football careers. Hope you enjoy.
And we're live.
Ryan Harper.
What's up, man?
Thanks for carving out some time.
I know. I mean, it's a long trip.
Yeah, I know, man. I appreciate it. You had to pack a lunch.
I had to pack a lunch.
Yeah.
The drive over here was pretty far.
Yep. How long have we known each other? 2000?
No, I would say 03. 17 years.
03, yeah, wow.
17 years.
Time flies.
It's one of those conversations that when you're younger, about time, that it's so cliche, because when you're young, you're like, shut up, dad, shut up, mom. I know time flies when you get older. And you get older, you're like, holy fuck, this shit went. And it makes sense though, right? Because like when you're 15, a year of your life is only 1/15 of your life.
Right.
When you're 26 like us, 1 year is only 1/26 of your life.
Yeah.
Or 29. I forgot what.
And I mean, we've known each other for 17 years. I'm going gray. You've gone yellow.
Well, this is for Halloween.
Oh,
quick
gotcha.
funny story on that.
Please.
The most frustrating thing about dyeing your hair for Halloween costume is when people don't realize it was a Halloween costume and they just think you went full-blown douchebag.
Well,
I am a douchebag, but not intentionally.
I think I was one of the first people to make that mistake of thinking you had gone full-blown douchebag.
Yeah, and you're like, where's the Lambo?
Yeah. 100%.
Was that a genuine laugh?
Yeah, that was genuine.
Or is that one of those fake Jess Marshall laughs?
No, that was one of the real ones. Don't give away the secrets, man.
Okay.
There's a formula here.
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
From Hearst, Euless, Bedford. So I went to Euless, grew up in Euless, went to Euless Trinity High School. Nobody cares, and then I went to North Texas. I was also in the Marines. Did the Marine thing, was a cheerleader in college, played
You're
rugby
like blowing way through way too much content, way too fast. I care.
Okay.
I care. So in high school, what were you doing in high school? What were your extracurriculars?
So I was in football, I was in choir, I was in show choir. Basically what I like to tell people is I've been pretty much bigger than everybody in my entire life. So therefore I've never let society dictate what I should or should not do.
Gotcha.
So like if I like Broadway, well, I like Broadway. If I like choir, I like choir. If I like shoot 'em up, kill 'em movies, I like that. If I want to go to the Marines, I'm going to the Marines. If I want to be a cheerleader, I'm going to be a cheerleader. So, and it's sad to me that people aren't able to live like that, and they, whether it be their reproductive organs or their skin color or their political lenience, whatever, that affects them to the point where they'll make a decision based off those versus just being cool.
Don't you think that a lot of people look to other people for cues like, hey, is this okay? Is it all right if I live my life this way? Is it, I don't know, or they compare a lot too, just to see if.
Well, I can sit here and be like, oh, I don't care what people think, but the reality is everybody does.
Well, yeah, to a
like
degree.
Everybody has an ego. Like I try not to, but you get sucked into it. Like hell, Daisy and I, like 2 hours ago, we were she was interviewing somebody. So if we don't hire that guy, it's because Daisy doesn't like him. But
can we put that name out there?
No.
Okay.
But when we were going through it, like I was like, like going through my followers, and all of a sudden on Instagram, and I don't have a huge following count at all, but you play this game of, well, who follows me and how big is their following? Nobody cares.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh, I'm addicted, I'm trapped. And it's just like, but again, to answer your question, is everybody falls into that, and all you could do is try to fight it.
Yeah, but you've blazed your own trail. You've marched to the beat of your own drum. I mean, and it sounds like you were into show business a little bit ish when you were in high school. I mean, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I mean, probably an actor, Broadway, all that stuff. I actually dabbled in it when I was early 20s.
Nice.
Like,
you got some demo tapes we can see?
none.
Damn.
There's no movies out there.
I feel like you
whatsoever.
destroyed those.
I did.
Damn it.
No, but it was just my thing is, like, I do think I have a charismatic personality. When I was thinner, I do think I was more. I mean, look at this face. I do have an attractive face.
Sexy guy.
The body,
sure.
not so much right now. But like, if I was fit, not a dry seat in the house.
Jesus Christ.
But the thing is, though, it's like my thing is memory. Like, I don't have the ability to like memorize scripts and lines and stuff.
Yeah,
like
your memory is oddly odd.
It's oddly odd.
Yeah, you repeat things. I'll be like, yeah, I know, we've talked about this.
The worst, and that's led me to, and this is, I'll give some value because everything's about value.
Yes, it is.
Like, when you go to events, like, stop saying, "Hey, nice to meet you." Just get that out of your vocabulary.
Really?
Instead, say, "Good to see you."
Yeah.
Because what happens if you've already met that person?
It's a good call, bro.
And they're like, "We've met."
You're
You're
blowing
like, "Oh,
my
my
mind."
bad." And they're like, "We've met 3 times." Oh shit!
So
I'm
it
an
sounds like
asshole.
you've learned this
I have.
through experience.
Of course.
Good to see you.
Good
I
to
like
see you.
that.
So every time, "Hey, good to see you. Good to see you." And if you do it enough, then you stop saying "nice to meet you."
Interesting.
Because again, and a lesson for you as your media brand grows, there's nothing more shitty feeling than making somebody who is genuinely nice and genuinely wants to talk to you feel like they're less than. And it may be a subtle thing, but like, everybody wants to be remembered. So by you saying "nice to meet you," and they're like, "We've met 3 times," you feel incredibly small and incredibly like, "Oh, my bad. This sucks." So that's why I say "nice to see you."
Yeah, no, I get it. There's a great saying. I tell my guys and gals this all the time. People will always forget what you say. They will then forget what you actually do, but they will never forget how you made them feel.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's such an important part when if you are in the content game and someone comes up to you and they're like, "Hey," and you blow them off and you act like you're above them. But also just when you're engaging with people, like making someone feel like they're the only person in the room, that's actually a skill.
Yeah.
And some of the best people in their industries are the best at that.
Well, look at Donald Trump. Like, Donald Trump, not everybody, but a lot of people like, "Man, what an asshole, what an asshole, what an asshole." But when you meet him one-on-one, supposedly, this is what you hear, is he's so charismatic and he has the ability to make you feel like you are not just another person down the line, and therefore you're a fan. So there is a huge skill to that, and that's obviously a huge ability if you can have that. But going back to, if you do mess up, you can get a pass. Like, every once in a while, like I do events, and people know I do events. So if they meet me at the event that I'm hosting, I get a pass sometimes, especially if it's somebody I know. There's a shout out to a guy named Russ Keith. There was an event maybe a year or 2 ago where I didn't see him at the event in my head. And later I was like, "Hey man, I didn't get to see you at the event. I'm sorry you didn't get to come." He's like, "No, I was there." "Oh, cool, you made it." We had a conversation. We did? So again, but again, I get a pass on that, hopefully, from him.
Yeah.
Because it's my event. I'm running around like crazy.
Right.
But as a general rule of thumb, just say, "Good to see you."
Yeah.
Don't just get away with it. Good to meet you.
That's an outstanding little hint and hack. That's a great value add, bro.
You're welcome.
Good to see you. Appreciate you dropping in.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, let's talk about you put together the first real estate meetup in many months here in DFW.
Yeah. So I'm pretty much, when it comes to real estate events in North Texas, I'm 3 for 3 as far as largest events in North Texas. So shout out to Tim Harridge. I used to work with Tim Harridge, a local real estate guy here in DFW, back in 2012, 2013ish, and he had the REI Expo at the time, and I helped elevate that to a large enough status that it got sold off to Mike Wren over at National Real Estate Insurance Group, and they then split that off into what's now known as Think Realty. So that event used to be REI Expo, and it used to be extremely large. Now it's more of a niche, but back then in 2014, We had like 1,600 people come out to the Gaylord, over 100 vendors.
Wow.
Like 50 different speakers. It was stupid. After that, we did Tim wanted to do a meetup, so we created the DFW Investors meetup up in Addison. So partnered up with, what was his name? Roddy. George Roddy, because he had the Roddy Roundup back then, and he was kind of done with that. So we started the DFW Investors. It was a partnership between Tim and Roddy, but the reality is the guy behind the scenes does all the work.
Yeah.
But again, that event wouldn't be that event without those two. But that was the largest event at that time in North Texas. Well, I left Tim for after that, and then was with Propelio. Then Daniel at Propelio was like, "Hey, let's do events." Okay. So we started the Propelio event, and it basically blew all events in North Texas out of the water. Like, we started that event, and 1 month later, DFW Investors like, "Nah, we're done with events now." Wow. So that was the second event, large event for North Texas. And then, as you're referring to, 2 weeks ago, we did the event with Donovan Ruffin over the Virgin, and had 800,000 people out there. Great event.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the first event in the past, 8 months in real estate or in general.
Yeah.
So
yeah, good call. In general, how did you end up getting into the real estate business?
So I was in the Marines with Tim Harridge, and back in, and this is going to date me a lot, back in 0203, Tim introduced me to his mentor at the time for real estate. So I joined up with that guy, and I was, because back then I was in the Marines, so I was, a little bit better looking. So I was the face man. I was the wheel and dealer guy. Yeah. I was, looking at houses, doing the deals, walking flips. But he was the behind the scenes guy doing the numbers and the crunching and the banks and all that stuff. So I was doing that 0203. This is all pre-08 craziness. Learning a little bit about wholesale, learning a little bit about flipping, and did all that. And then I went on vacation, and hopefully this is true. It's all hazy because it's 18 years ago. But my memory, I went on vacation, came back, and then our bank account was cleared out, and that never talked to the guy ever again. So, and back then, internet wasn't what it was right as now. So it's not like you could just jump on Google and, hey, what do I do now? What does YouTube tell me what to do? Nowadays, you'd sue the fuck out of somebody. But back then I was like, well, this sucks. I guess I'll go back to school, go back to college. Oh. So then I was like, screw this real estate thing, because the contractors are trying to screw over the investors are trying to screw over the homeowners, and the homeowners are trying to screw over everybody. Yeah. And
obviously it looks like the investors are screwing over the investor partners.
Yeah. So I got out of real estate back then, went back to school, and I was always I'm okay risk taker. I have no problem taking risks. So as an entrepreneur, it's like, oh, cool. It's not necessarily like a squirrel, like, oh, let me go there, but it's like, oh, great opportunity, let me pursue it. So I did that, just pursuing different things, going to college. In 08, this is during all the craziness of the financial everything. There was an opportunity to go to Dubai to work for a company out there, and they looked at my resume and they're like, dude, you're like 1 semester away from finishing school. Why don't you get your degree? And I was like, okay. So I got my degree in North Texas in sociology. Why sociology? It's because it would take, I think, 1 less semester than my economics degree. Because I was pursuing economics, just because it's fascinating. But I could literally switch my program and go straight to. Are y'all breaking shit over there? Go straight to sociology and graduate that semester.
Gotcha.
So I graduated in 08, and then January 1, 2019 or 2009, I was on a plane to go to Dubai.
So they held your spot for you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it was a crazy experience though, because my first day in Dubai. And let me throw this out by saying I did not partake.
Okay.
My first day in Dubai, my new manager.
That's how all good stories start, by the way.
I did not partake. My first night in Dubai, first night, I can't remember. Because my villa wow, hadn't been set up yet, so I was staying in the guest room of my sales director because I took a sales job. I'm exhausted. I just had a 14-hour flight or whatever it was, and had a quick meeting with the team. And my first night, we go to the Rattlesnake, is a bar in Dubai. Yes, but Dubai has bars. Well, it's full of prostitutes in Dubai. And you're thinking, wait, I thought the Middle East was, a very like, whatever, like, oh no, you can't do this, because if you hold hands, you get called out. If you any kind of public display of anything, you're in trouble. But I'd never been to a bar that's a straight up prostitute bar. So my sales director at the time,
neither have I.
There you go.
Yeah. No, for real, I haven't.
No.
Brand development.
Wink,
I have
wink,
never
wink,
been.
wink,
No.
But anyway, and this is probably like, Ryan, why the hell are you going? I just think it's a funny story. But he's like, get you one. I'm like, no. And he was a British dude, so maybe that's that British thing. But it was the most awkward. Can you imagine your first day at a new job that you just flew 14 hours and you uprooted everything? I sold off everything in my life. I had no furniture, I had no car, I had nothing. Everything I owned was in 2 suitcases. And the first day, you're at a go pay money to buy somebody for an hour. And I was like,
and it was your boss is encouraging
it. Boss.
You're like, wow, I think I've signed on for
going back to my original statement, which is I did not partake. And I just remember the taxi ride back to his villa. I'm in the front seat and he's in the back with his girlfriend for the night. And I'm just like, what the hell did I do? So I know you like adversity. So that's my adversity story.
That's a hell of an adversity story.
This is the most awkward setting ever. So
you're in sales over there. What were you selling?
Construction materials for buildings and whatnot. But my first 3 months in that job was the Burj Dubai lake. So I don't think it's called the Burj Dubai anymore. It's called the Burj Khalifa now. Whatever the big tall tower is.
The biggest tallest one?
Yeah, I always get the Khalifa, and no, it is Khalifa because the Al Arab is that 7-star hotel with the sailboat one. So the Khalifa, right in front of it, there's this big man-made lake, and we sold all the paint, all the coating for that. So my day one job was the product liaison with the applicator, and this is where I realized because I was being paid pennies because, hey, I'm a new hire, I need a job. They're like, oh, well, let's do a 3-month trial probationary period with you. And then I later learned I should have been making at least $20,000 a month to do that job. And I was only getting paid like $2,000 a month. But I only had that job because I was white.
Gotcha.
Because they needed a white guy to stand out there, which is such a weird, weird concept. But also on my visa, I was a manager, and my manager wasn't a manager because I had a college degree. Such a weird. That's one thing I like to tell people, like, because I know in the United States we have issues of racial whatever. But it's like, have you been outside this country?
Yeah.
Because outside this country, and I'm not saying that justifies anything, but outside this country, it's weird. It's a weird place.
Oh, I don't think you're trying to say it justifies anything. You're just making an observation. Yeah. And I think that a lot of people don't have a point of reference.
Here's the observation I want to bring to the United States.
Okay. Everyone, get ready.
I never once got searched or held up at an airport in the Middle East. I could set off every single metal detector known to man. Oh, you're okay.
Wow.
Because I had a blue passport.
Yeah.
God bless America.
Yeah. America.
Yeah. Anyway, I know. I tangented away from your.
No, it's all good. I was gonna try to get some value from you about sales.
Oh, I didn't. I was horrible at it. No.
Why? Why? You're a very personable guy.
Because I don't.
You didn't believe in it?
No, I'm horrible at sales because I believe in it so much, or what I'm doing. It's like, if you don't see the value, that's on you.
Right.
We talked about this, about
100%.
all the stuff we're doing here in the media side. Yeah. It's like, I don't need to sell it. If I have to sell you, you're not my client. You're not a good client. You're not a good fit for me.
So you're not a follow-upper.
I'm a follow-upper, but I'm not a. I'm not a hard sales guy.
Yeah.
And because I did try to do for about 6 months, I had a stab at oil and gas sales. You know,
Like Derek?
yeah. But like a phone jockey. But I sucked at that because literally you're on the phone asking for $200,000 for an oil well share. And it's like, well, I need to talk to my wife. It's like, really? You really need to talk to your wife? Who wears the pants? You know, and it's like, I'm not doing that.
Right.
You know, it's like, look, here's the performa, here's the prospectus. This is why it works or it doesn't. Mm-hmm. Are you in or you're out?
Yeah.
But they want the twist your arm type of guy.
Yeah.
That's not me.
What do you think about people who say that the best sales guys are the sales guys who read the client the fastest? Like, will this client respond to a hard sell? Because if they will, I'm going to hard sell them. Is this client a hands-off client? Because if that's the way they are, then I'm going to hands-off them. I'm going to slow play it. I'm going to be chill and casual.
Are you talking about like NLP type stuff?
No, just anything. Any sales, anything high-end.
It's hard for me because I'd like to believe that I'm a product type guy versus a personality guy. Like, I may like you and I may like this bottle of water, but I'm if I buy a bottle of water,
I brought that to you from Collin County, by the way.
It's room temp though.
Yeah.
I like the cold.
No, it absorbs into your bloodstream faster.
Okay.
That way.
There's your tip.
Yep. Added value, brother.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, but it's like manipulation, and I'm not talking about the kind that's like aggressive or trying to take advantage of somebody, but I guess by definition that's what it is. But like when you use tactics like NLP or you use tactics like call and response, like you can program people. That's why I like protesting. Like, people think they're protesting. It's like when they say, hey, this and you that, and you say the same thing, that's a cult. They're programming you.
Right.
So like, and I don't know where I'm going with that, other than like that just makes me sad when people are being programmed or they're being manipulated, or the fact that it is easy to use things like NLP, neuro-linguistic programming.
Right.
You know, like, oh, you lean in, I lean in.
The Stanford study.
Yeah. Or you speak softer, I speak softer.
Right.
Or you speak louder, I get excited. You know, all that. And it's just like, oh, I like this person.
Right.
It's like, do you really? Or were you just programmed?
Yeah.
So, and to me, that's sad that that's actually a thing. But anyway,
it's a thing. It's more than a thing.
I forgot the question is like, where do I stand on that? I just hate sales.
Yeah. Your approach for sure in your venture now is it's not transactional at all. It's very relationship based.
Yeah.
Deal.
Yeah.
Would you say that some of your bad experiences in the past where people who you were working with have screwed you over, have programmed you in a way that you make a concerted mental effort almost every day that, hey, if I put out positive energy, I'm going to get positive energy back?
Probably. Like, because I like to say that I have PTSD when it comes to real estate.
Right.
Because I know a lot about real estate, and I know probably more than most people that are successful in real estate. But like,
successful. Yeah.
What's the first rule of real estate?
Yeah.
Everybody's full of shit. Everybody's full of shit.
What's the first rule of contracting? Take whatever they say, divide it by 2, round down.
Yeah. But yeah, you had a booger. It's okay. I was trying to help you out.
Yeah, allergy season, brother.
I'll just call you out.
It's cool.
No,
it's part of my brand.
Yeah. But I probably do have PTSD in the sense that and I don't even like the word screw you over, because people do what's best for them. My problem is thinking that you're on the same team and believing that and believing in somebody. And I don't want to be pessimistic, because you still want to believe in the best in people. But at the end of the day, it's my naiveness to go, if there's only one bottle of water between us and we're brothers and we're friends and we've known each other for 16 centuries, rugby, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, if you have your family that you need to provide for and give them water, if I think that we're going to divide this equally, I'm the asshole. Right. I'm the idiot. You're going to, not you, but you're going to gut me because you have a family to provide for. Well, I mean, there's those blood ties.
Yeah. When I was younger, the screwing over was most definitely me, young go-getter guy, older dude with family. Mm-hmm. Older dude with family knows more experience. I'm a little bit green, you know, and then there's a justification there for those guys too. Well, it's about my family and this is business. There's no ethics in business.
Right. And again, that's why I don't like to use the word screwing over, because you still get value in everything you do.
Oh, I mean,
like even the people that maybe didn't do best by you, you still get, like, everybody I've ever worked with, like, I try not to go over the top. Well, I try not to disparage anybody. Like, there's certain situations that you're just like, well, this is kind of shady. But overall, everybody I've ever worked with, I've gotten more out of them than they probably got out of me. That's probably me not valuing who I am, because I know that's false. But you could still go, no, I got a lot out of it too.
Well, there's certainly something to be said for finding the silver lining, and no matter what the scenario is. But you know, lessons and experience and value don't pay the bills.
Right.
When people are ripping you off, I'll say it.
I don't think it's ripping off. I mean, because you got to think, even with the people I've worked with, like, you take working with 2020 REI and Tim Harridge, it's like, I got a new career out of that. I got into real estate through Tim. You know, we had a great relationship. And I'm very, very consistent about my messaging around Tim. It's like, is Tim kind of rough and gruff and kind of an asshole? Yeah. Has he ever screwed me over? No. You know, would I ever work for him again? Probably not. Would I work with him? Probably.
Yeah.
But it's because of a different understanding of that relationship. Again, my naiveness was going, oh yeah, we're brothers, we're Marines, we're gonna work together. Everything I was just saying earlier about, oh, we're gonna conquer the day. At the end of the day, it's like when you start throwing money and numbers and going, okay, I have to survive this company, or I got to take care of this one person. The company is what provides for my family. It's like, it is what it is, you know. So you as an individual have to make decisions. It's like, do I stay with this, or do I put up with it, or to head out?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely respect your perspective. I do think that in business there are still weights and measures. I think that if you do deal in bad karma, you are going to reap what you sow. Mm-hmm. So if you do have an agreement with someone and that person held up their side of the agreement and you don't follow through, I think you're going to have that happen to you.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, you know, with him specifically, like, there really wasn't. It was more like, hey, he brought me on as assistant, as an administrative assistant, and that role just grew every day.
Yeah,
which was great. So I got to learn how to. He got me into the event stuff. He got me into the real estate space. So again, you know, my whole career in one way is not devoted, but attributed to working with him completely. I mean, that's an obvious statement. Could I have been a millionaire by now if it went a different direction? Probably. Is that big a deal? Not really. Because, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is, you know?
Yeah.
So if you live by regret, you're screwed.
Oh, for sure. You know? For sure. I mean, everything happens for a reason. That's hard to see when you're in the middle of a dark time.
Yeah.
You know, or you feel like you've been let down by someone. But, you know, the path that we all take leads us somewhere. And
yeah.
I mean, I personally believe that there's a reason why we all end up where we end up.
Well, it's the whole, you know, and you'll love this, the whole Jocko thing, you know,
Yep.
Complete ownership.
100%. If you go into a situation with somebody and they let you down, did they let you down, or are you the asshole because you put them in a position to let you down? Right.
So it's how you look at it. So for me, like, man, I'm an idiot. I should have seen that sooner. Same thing like with dating. Like, of course she's crazy. Duh. You know, something like that.
Yep.
But
put yourself in a position to be harmed.
Well, yeah. Again, it's extreme ownership, and like, if everything falls apart, it's on you. Like, if you hire somebody and they don't perform, is that because they didn't perform and they suck at their job, or is that because you hired the wrong person? Is it because you trained them wrong? Is it because you didn't give the right expectations? So if you put it on them, of course, it's always going to be their fault. But if you have empathy and go, oh, wait a minute, did I give them clear examples? Did I give them clear everything? Did I give them everything they need to know to get the job done? Oh, I didn't. Oh, well, that's my fault.
Yeah.
You know, hey, Sekou, I need you to do X, Y, Z, and then I forget and I go over there, and then I come back and X, Y, Z looks more like a 1, 2, 3. Is that Sekou's fault, or is that my fault for not giving him a clear example of what X, Y, Z actually means, especially when somebody isn't in the same industry? So where I fail a lot is in my ability to articulate like thoughts. They don't even have to be complex. They could just be like, hey, I want this thing over here, do it. And then I squirrel and I go to something else, and that's not fair to anybody. So if it's not exactly what you wanted, that's your fault. That's not that person's fault. Unless, of course, you completely spelled out, gave examples, and in that case, Sekou, bye.
Jesus.
Just kidding. See, at least he smiled that time.
He laughed.
Yeah.
He laughs at me a lot more, but I think that's because I'm a client.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that nice.
All right. For sure, the best leaders are the ones who own every failure.
Yeah.
The successes are fine.
You got to share the successes, though.
You got to share the successes, and you have to completely own the failures. The best head coaches, the best quarterbacks, the best team leaders.
And I've had that in the past. And I won't name drop these people, but I have had people in my past that I've worked with that they had a we temperament and they had the I temperament.
Yep.
And you could figure that out probably offline who I'm referring to. But like, it's so much easier to work with somebody when it's a we.
Yes.
And you'll give passes for chaos. And even if you are not treated right, but if you're on the team, there's still that emotional capital. But if it's an I, and you're just like this, you're like, peace the F out of here.
Well, you know, people, especially when you're leading a team, really respond to the pats on the backs and the attaboys and the sharing of success. So if you put your people in a position to win and they win, you don't then go stand up in front at the press conference and go, I really put them in that position to win. You say they crushed it. They killed it. Yeah. We won. It was awesome. And they see that, and they see that you're not always stealing that credit, and they're like, man, I'm following this son of a bitch.
So what you're talking about is emotional capital.
Yep.
And shout out to Gary Harper with Sharper and Consulting. I'm not sure if you know who he is, but he's
your dad?
No.
Oh.
If people think that, or a brother or something. No, but he's one of the top-notch consultants about processes within the real estate investing community. But this is a concept I learned from him specifically at one of his conferences, and that's emotional capital. So an employee, they have two sources of income. They have actual money, and then they have the emotional capital that comes with it. If you don't pay a lot of money, but that emotional capital is high, they'll stick it out because they're part of the team. They have that emotional fill. They get something out of it. They love being there. They feel like they're a part of the company culture. But if you're constantly tearing that down by being an asshole, by being I, by killing that team atmosphere, by killing that culture, eventually that emotional capital goes zero, and the only thing that's there is the money. And if you ain't paying them a shit ton of money, they're going to leave. They're going to jump ship.
Absolutely.
So even if you're not paying the most amount of money, but you can provide a work environment that's enjoyable to be around, that is a team atmosphere, that knocks all those boxes of feeling good about themselves and feeling like they can be a part of the team and feel like they can add value. I'm not saying don't pay them. I'm saying if you could pay them, but then you can keep them. But if you don't have the emotional capital and you're not paying very much, they're going to jump ship first opportunity.
Yeah, man, and there are many examples of people who are well compensated, and into those people, no emotional capital has been invested, and they are out the door as fast as they can because they recognize that where they are, it's just a transaction. It's I'm trading my time for a paycheck, and there's no investment from them because you, the leader, have not invested first.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, here, this is a startup. This Harper Belmont Media is a startup, which means startup is just code for we ain't got no money. So the people that I have working with us, like Daisy and Sekou, that's one of the conversations I have right off the bat is, hey, I can't pay you a lot of money, but what I will do is I will try as we keep going to take care of you both emotionally and financially as we grow. I told Daisy earlier, Sekou hadn't heard this, but they're both getting another raise this week.
Hell yeah.
Sekou's been here 3 months. Daisy's been here a month.
Sekou, you're buying the Jack in the Box tomorrow, brother.
But Sekou's already had. They both already had a raise, and then they're about to get their second raise. It ain't a lot, but for a startup, and you ain't got no money.
Yeah, man, when you're starting something too, like you were saying, back to what you said like 5 minutes ago, hey, I'll give some instructions, but I don't communicate well. Well, you've never given those instructions before.
Right.
And so when you start to build and hire more people, you'll be giving those instructions better and better and better until it's a system and a process.
It's also about empowering. Like one thing that Sekou and Daisy both, that I'm working with them currently the past 2 days is, let me see if Sekou, what have I told you to tell me? We got this.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm a problem solver.
Yes.
Like if I see a problem and I feel like I can help, I'm going to sometimes steamroll or just do it myself. But you need to empower your team and be like, go away. We got this. So I've told them, it's like, if you see me doing that, just tell me we got this, and I will do my best to go, oh, my bad. So, and that's one of the things also is challenging your team, being aware that not all aspects of jobs are enjoyable,
right?
Like, and diversify, like, and then also put them in uncomfortable positions, help them to grow.
Yeah.
Daisy, she just graduated college this year, Mayish? She's already helped interview 2 people.
That's awesome. HR director.
She didn't even know that she was doing that. The first time she did it, she didn't realize that was what's going on. And then when I told her, how's it feel to interview her, she was kind of horrified that happened,
That's awesome.
But
you're a natural.
But again, it's like coming from a film background, she probably would never be put in that position, So you want to challenge to help them grow and develop you don't want to have everybody a jack of all trades. You want specialists, but at the same time, you could still because one of the things that she does do is all the copywriting, and I'm fully aware that sucks. So when she's doing copywriting in this video, she'll probably be like, I hate this part. Or she may highlight this section of it just because I'm talking about how shitty copywriting is. But what I'm trying to do is the next hire is going to help take that load off, because I know it's not the most enjoyable thing.
You're a can-do guy. I'm a can-do guy. I'm a DIY guy. You're a DIY guy. How hard has it been for you to learn how to delegate? Or was that something you kind of got over when you were organizing those events? Or were you doing a ton of that yourself?
My problem about delegation is I have a short fuse on that type of things. So, and I have a high irritation on stuff as well. So like my biggest pet peeve in the world is not when somebody does the toilet paper wrong. My biggest pet peeve is if I ask you to do something or tell you or order you or however you want to say it, and you say, I got this. And then I turn around, I come back, it's still not done. Hey, I need you to do this. It ain't done. I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah.
And then once I start doing it, I have no problem doing it. My pet peeve is once I start doing that, and then you see that I'm doing it, go, oh shit, Ryan's doing it. Let me do it real quick. The pet peeve I have is now you just wasted both our times.
Right.
Because it's one thing if I'm doing it or you're doing it, but there's no reason both of us should do it.
Right.
So that's my biggest pet peeve.
I think that what I find to be one of the biggest challenges for me is keeping a lot of my office staff engaged. So we've got long jobs, short jobs, and then on fire jobs, like not project job sites, but like projects we're working on in the back office to improve the overall company's
like goals.
Yeah, goals,
Projects,
big time objectives, just whatever it is. And being able, because my job really devolves every day. I have a plan for the day, but when I wake up, there are problems usually right out of the gate that have to be solved. I got a lot of people solving those, but then there is some stuff that I'm the catch-all that does get to me. Then my attention goes straight to that, because that doesn't get solved right now in a time-sensitive manner. We're going to lose this contract, or we're going to have a crew walk the job, or just whatever. The office staff, keeping them on, okay, tomorrow I need you to do this and this. If I get called away, this is our backup plan. That's been my real tough thing.
Well, I think a lot of that is communication. And even though I'm not good at articulating, I can at least attempt to communicate. And I think I do a decent job of talking, obviously. But like one of the things that I have with Daisy and Sekou both is they're both from that creative world of like with Daisy, she does the film world, and Sekou's more of the music industry, video world. And both those are prepare, like let's spend 2 months, 3 months to write out a script, write out a thing. And then what I've tried to do is say, everything you say is 100% correct. You do need to be prepared. You do need to be this. But at the same time, in the entrepreneur world, if we don't get started, we don't have any money, right, and then we'll never get to that point where we can be where we want. So even with like your project and your channels, like it's just, let's just scream out of the gate.
Yep.
Like full 180 degree, just go as a wall. And as we get going, we'll start narrowing down. We'll start narrowing down the topics. We'll start getting better content. The videos will be more dynamic and just more elements to it. And that's just a process of getting there. But the communication part is circling back to those guys, is going, listen, I understand everything you say is absolutely true, and I agree with everything you're saying. But as an entrepreneur, we have to get this train going. We have to jump out of the plane. I know there's no parachute. I know there's no wings, but we have to jump. And it's building that plane. It's creating that parachute as you go. Will we go splat? Oh, I hope not. But well, at least we're not on the plane.
Yeah,
you know. So
true.
The plane is boring.
It is. It's a lot more exciting out free falling.
Yeah, right.
For sure. Yeah, free fall out into nothing, Tom Petty style. Yeah, I mean, when you're starting a venture like your venture that you're going with here, you've now got a list of clients, and that list is growing monthly. What do you do to keep yourself focused on? Okay, so when we started, this was the goal. We got to keep shooting for that, but we know shit's going to keep popping up here, and it's going to get hectic, and it's going to get a little crazy.
Well, for me, my current focus is, well, I have no life. So, like, if you come here pretty much anytime, my truck's probably outside. I'm here 7 days a week, 10, 12-hour days.
Proven with the Live and Drive, by the way.
Like 11, 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, those came from late nights in Arlington at Propelio, and being 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and not wanting to die on the freeway, because people give me shit about, oh, how that's so unsafe. I was like,
falling asleep's worse.
Falling asleep's worse.
Yeah.
So at least me talking to myself and having a little engagement keeps you awake. So that's where that came from. How do I stay focused? One of the things is yes, I'm client centric, but hopefully Daisy and Sekou realize this, that I'm also team focused, because like I'm always almost to the point where it's annoying. Hey, y'all doing okay? Are you doing okay? And what sucks for me is both of them have kind of very stoic faces where they don't really wear their emotions on their face too much. So I'm like always, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? And they're probably like,
shut
nothing.
the fuck up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Right.
Like, we're good.
Yeah.
But I'm like, are you okay? Are you okay? Everything? And then maybe that is that PTSD from before of just having, I don't want to say anything disparaging or negative leadership on top of me, but it's like maybe not having the best leadership on top of me before.
Yeah.
And it's, it's like it's almost like that. I hated my father because my father did this. Okay, I'm never going to do that to my kids. That kind of thing.
Right.
Not that y'all are kids or anything, but
no, I get it. It's you don't know a good leader in your life until you actually get led by one. Like you work in places, maybe your father was a leader, maybe you had coaches who were good or not, and you either...
To be clear, my parents are amazing.
Yeah.
I just want to say that. I don't want to sound like my dad. I wasn't talking about my dad.
You have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah. I have two half brothers, one half sister, and one adopted sister. I like to say that like that because I'm the only full blood Harper.
Jeez.
Because blood is important.
God. Y'all, hopefully you're not tuned in for this. And if you are, I'm sorry. And that's not approved.
I'm just kidding. I love my family.
No, that's awesome, man. The whole leadership thing when you're starting out is having everybody on the same team where they have vision, because when something does come up that's out of the ordinary or outside the job description, and we go, hey, we got to tackle this.
Well, also it's in the interview process as well, because it's one thing if you are hiring an HR person to do HR things at a company. If you're in the trenches of an entrepreneurial type world, you also have to be able to convey what you're doing, like the not just the company culture, but actually everything. Like if somebody doesn't get what you're trying to do, you're never going to, it's almost going back to the sales thing. It's like, if I have to kind of prove to you why this is a thing, well, then you're not a good fit. Same thing, if I have to over explain what we're doing here, if you're not getting it, you're not a good fit. So, and there's certain things, you should be able to communicate better and go through and actually explain it. But at a high level, hey, we're doing this. If they're like, I don't get it, well, okay, bye.
Yeah. What are you looking for? What are some main core competencies just with regard to character that you're looking for when you bring people on? Are you looking for that ability to create, roll with the punches, rise above, bring the juice, everyday positivity? What do you do? Are there certain things that you're core value-ish stuff?
I hate saying it like this, but it's the whole when you know.
Yeah.
I hate that because it's so stupid, but I think
that's why you got to interview people in person, though.
Right. You do a phone call to kind of get like a general vibe, but then you meet in person and you're like, first rule, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is can this person carry the load? Are they, because like I remember dating a girl years ago, and she used to complain about her job, about how her manager asked her to do something, and she said, well, that's not my job description. Me being in the entrepreneur world, I'm like, are you kidding? If your boss or supervisor asks you something, I cannot process in my head ever, that's not my job description.
Neither can I.
But I'll also never ask anybody to do something that I haven't done. Like one of the most uncomfortable things I've had the entire time Daisy's been here is like today I said, hey, by the way, if you see dishes over here, can you help me out by helping load or unload the dishwasher? I try to stay on top of it, but if I mess up, or if I miss it, can you also help? Only because like that's such a low level thing. But I'm still doing it myself. But I hate actually having to bring that up and ask that. Oh yeah, Seiko, you too, please. But it's a team thing. But I'm not going, hey, go get me coffee, because I think that's lame.
Yeah.
If you're, unless that's the job. If you have a chaiwala, which is a coffee guy, a tea boy, that's their job. Cool. If that's their only job is to get you coffee, great. But if their job is to edit videos, be creative, organized, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, getting you coffee is the least that's a waste of your money to pay them.
For sure.
Anyway, rant.
When you were at Propelio, what was the most, and you're putting together those events, those meetups, those masterminds, what was the most challenging part about all that?
Budget.
Yeah.
Having none.
So trying to make chicken salad out of chicken.
Right. And that's what's funny. And that's what's ironic is like, so with the Propelio event, we literally, because Tony actually brought this up the other day. He's like, how does it feel to work with don't have the chains of Propelio anymore and you could do your own event? And I said, ironically, it's not like that at all, because with the Propelio event, I had no chains. I had complete free reign. That event was pretty much 100% my baby. The problem was there was no money to do it. So if I wanted to have a sign out front, I had to have sponsors that pay for it. If I wanted to give everybody booze and food, I had to have sponsors that paid for it. And if I wanted to be in a venue, I had to have sponsors to pay for it. So unless I had money to pay for it, not from our bank account, but coming in for the event had to stand on its own legs. So from the very beginning. So back,
every event was like a startup.
Every event was a startup, yeah. And again, the company, the team was very supportive in allowing me to do whatever the hell I wanted. But ironically, with the event with Donovan, it's almost like there is no budget in the sense that, yeah, whatever works, let's go for it, and we'll figure it out. So if we got paid for it, we'll pay for it, and we'll find money later. And it's much more collaborative, like, because it is that event. I mean, I get a lot of credit for putting it together, but like, it's a lot Donovan as well, just for the overall style, the overall vibe, the speaker lineups, and everything. Obviously, there's still a lot of stuff that's behind the scenes that nobody will ever see, and I'll never get credit for, and our team will never get credit for. But who cares?
Yeah,
nobody cares nobody cares that we're standing in this room and there's a foundation or there's a floor,
right?
Nobody cares that you're on the 4th floor of a building and somebody had to build the building.
No,
you just care that you're standing there.
Believe me, I know.
Yeah,
no one cares.
Yeah, like
they're just inside.
If you're waiting for credit for stuff for anything, you're going to wait a long time.
Yeah, you just got to blaze forward. If you sit around, or if credit or the lack thereof makes or breaks your day, you need to adjust that perspective a tad.
But I'm incredibly proud of, and I actually wrote my follow-up email to this last event. I was incredibly proud of the Propelio event, incredibly proud of the DFW Investors event, the REA Expo, all those events I've ever worked on. But the one we just finished up with Donovan it's unique. It's something different.
Yeah.
But it's almost like it's a graduation, but it is, because this event wouldn't have been the same if I didn't have the past 7 years of experience to get into it.
Sure.
And also it wouldn't be the same if I didn't have Donovan to bounce off of.
Yeah. You met him through the whole Propelio thing?
Yeah. Well, he's been up and coming here in Dallas for a while.
Yeah.
We need to get him here on your podcast too.
Yeah, for sure. The other things that you learned from Propelio that we haven't covered yet. Talk about the way you helped to build that channel,
the media stuff
on the media side, the social media side of it, and kind of how your perspective has changed.
Yeah, so that's an interesting topic and a cool little rabbit hole to go down. So being in real estate, I've been real estate off and on 10 years. I've seen a lot, been a lot, and it's very cyclical. You see, if you go to the meetup, you see the same people, and then if you stick around long enough, those people trickle away, and you get another group of people. So if the current class of influencers, if you've been in real estate a while, you're like, oh, well, that's just John, that's just Brad, that's just so-and-so, who cares? But they're celebrities because they've been doing it long enough, or they've been doing the media. So what I've noticed in the media space with my experience with Propelio, thus the birth of all this, is it's its own business in itself. Like if you can build a following, if you can build influence, you can make a lot of money just with that. Versus yes, you can flip a house and you can make a good amount of money. You can flip a lot of houses and make a lot of money. You can do multifamily, you can do all that. But at the end of the day, that's one house, and then maybe it is a rental property and you do have recurring revenue, but you're capped on how much you can make off that. It's very transactional. Versus the media stuff and the influence, that's very exponential. So what I learned in the Propelio is we started that solely for marketing. And it was all about getting our name out there and all about getting more eyeballs and building that and doing the studio and getting people to know who we were through the media efforts. And real quick, we get a lot of credit for the events, but that event wouldn't be the same if we didn't have a year and a half of media stuff to drive to it. Media stuff we had. I mean, if you go to Propelio, if you go to YouTube, well, you're on YouTube. Don't do it right now, but do it later. Just go to Propelio, type in PROPELIO, and Hell, they have 16,000 subscribers. They've gained 6,000 subscribers in the past 8, 9, 10 months with no new content. So the content speaks for itself. But not to stray too far, what I learned there is, oh shit, now YouTube's starting to pay us some money. Not a lot. It's a niche. We're in real estate. And let's be honest, we're never going to be a 12-year-old makeup tutorial getting 12 billion views per video. But the money that you can make typically in real estate is like $18 CPM, which is cost per milli. So basically, for every 1,000 views a video gets, you get $18, typically in the real estate space. But again, okay, fine. You have 100,000 views. Great. This video makes $180. That's nothing compared to flipping a house or building doing a roof job or whatever. But because we're in a niche, you have other opportunities. You have affiliates where, hey, if you want to go to Propelio, go try Propelio.com. You know, what's trypropelio.com? Well, that's my affiliate redirect that if somebody goes to trypropelio.com and they buy Propelio, well, then I get $30 a month for as long as they're a customer because I'm an affiliate of Propelio, you know? Because again, I wouldn't be an affiliate of something if I wasn't incredibly proud.
Right.
So you've got people out there, and I won't name drop anybody, that are making a massive amount of money every single month from their affiliates. Like I personally know people who are making $50,000, $100,000, $300,000, $400,000 a month from their affiliates and their sponsorship opportunities. And not to mention, you also have the deal flow. So like, and all of this was my sales pitch to you to be a client, in the sense that, yes, you can do pay-per-click ads. You can go out there and do advertising, but influence is the main currency. If you can have a following, you're going to be way more successful than any advertiser. Look at that Jenner girl, not Kendall. Is it Kylie? Kylie Jenner?
Yep.
Is it the one that's like a billionaire or something?
Yep.
Yeah, like
the lip
I don't know
thing.
But she didn't go to college to learn how to do chemicals to make all that.
No.
She had a huge following. It grew even bigger. And then she did some makeup, and not incredibly successful from that because of the influence she had. Right. So tying it back into the real estate is, we'll never ever be at those numbers. If you can get 50,000, 100,000 followers, you're killing it. If you can get 1 million, you're killing it. But even at a super niche of 5,000, 10,000, whatever followers that are actively your fan base, and they will click on something that you want. If you, hey, I like this book, go check it out. Here's an Amazon link. And yeah, you may only get like 3 cents per click, but volume, the exponentialness, and that's where the exponential numbers grow, is as things grow, you can make incredibly a lot more money. And that's why you have YouTube channels that's all they do is YouTube. Like, hey, I've got 50 employees. How the hell do you have 50 employees with a YouTube channel? It's incredibly lucrative, because it's not 20 years ago where to be a TV show or any kind of movie, you have to go through the old way. All you need is a camera and being creative. Like, we go out there and make something. If we make it good enough, put it on the internet, and if people enjoy it, it'll grow and you get paid for it. You don't have to go through an agency. You don't have to go through a publisher. So that's the beauty of 2020, and that's the beauty of all of this is, and again, real quick, because I did tell you this as well, it's a long road. It's a 6 to 18 month process just to get some sort of start, and even then, you may never take off. But if you do, it can get fun real quick.
Yeah. What are some things that people don't know about YouTube? Some kind of just interesting, this is part of your pitch to me as well. There's just some interesting facts about YouTube that I didn't know until you brought it to me. I used YouTube to watch music videos or listen to music on repeat for free because I'm cheap. Or to find and videos to train my guys on.
Yeah. So what's sexy right now? TikTok, Instagram. Right. Facebook is trash nowadays, but it's TikTok and Instagram. Yep. But that's fun. And that's fun content, but you're not searching for anything on TikTok or Facebook or especially not Facebook, but Instagram. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world.
That's crazy.
And it's owned
Yeah.
by the largest search engine in the world. So if I go to Google and I search blah, 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 well, most likely it's going to give you a couple websites, it's going to give a couple ads, and it's going to give you a couple of YouTube videos. So if you can train YouTube and you can train the analytics to rank you higher, well, then you're going to rank better than somebody paying money. So that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize is the searchability factor there, but also the algorithm factor of like the biggest thing, like the biggest difference between like say YouTube and Facebook, because Facebook, people are like, oh, I can get Facebook, and yeah, you can get your immediate audience, and that's one thing I'd like to say right now is like, look at the election. If you get on Facebook and everybody in your world says like Trump is going to win in landslide, well, that's because you live in a bubble. If everybody says Biden wins in a landslide, it's because that's your bubble. The reality is, if you look on the news right now, false or true, it doesn't matter, it's kind of neck and neck, which means everybody is wrong.
Right.
The reason I bring that up is with Facebook, that's where content goes to die. So what
do you mean by that?
If you put a video up or if you put a post, if we take a picture, put it on Facebook right now, and we get, I don't know, a like, 15 likes, 1 million likes, it doesn't matter. After a day or two, it'll still be there, but your response rate, your engagement dies.
100%.
No one's watching it. If we do a Facebook Live and we get a few people watching, and then maybe later in the day, a couple people watch, maybe a couple days later, people watching, but it ain't gonna go viral.
Right.
Like some videos go viral, but if you're just being an everyday thing, it's not gonna go viral. So that's where it's gonna die.
So it's
not searchable.
Basically on Facebook starting over every day. Now, obviously,
every day, yeah.
If you're active every day, your audience starts to look for your action, and you get good edge rank from that. But really, you are starting over every morning.
I wouldn't word it like that, but yeah. But if that same video, if I put it on YouTube, it's a different. It goes back to how those two entities work differently. So YouTube, how does YouTube make money?
I don't know.
Ad revenue.
Yeah, all the people who want to advertise their little startup.
They want to advertise. Did you say fall asleep? No. Oh, you're falling asleep. This isn't fascinating? Got it. Wrap it up. That's what I heard. You know what? This is good stuff, guys. No, so YouTube.
I'm riveted.
YouTube makes money from ad revenue.
Professional listener.
This is the ASMR channel by Jess Marshall.
Yeah.
That's how we should talk from now on, because we were talking about that. There was a tangent. There's a channel where the guy is like it's an informative video, but it was more like ASMR. Yeah. So these mics, we should just talk very ASMR.
Absolutely. Actually, I'm going to put a sock over the mic next time just to soften it.
And Lindsay later is going to be, when she's trying to give you notes, she'll be like, "Why did y'all do that?"
That was bizarre, and I'd appreciate it if you never did it again.
Can we cut that out of the thing?
Hey,
anyway, going back.
Sing.
Yeah, I could sing.
No. Yeah, you can.
So the way YouTube makes money is ad revenue. Okay. They make money from ad revenue. Ad revenue comes from time. So they want people to have time on platform.
Right.
So if you watch a video, well, let me put this. If I watch a video of you, people watching this video right now, they're watching this video and they watch it for minutes, 10 minutes. They watch the whole thing. Most likely, if they look to the right of the screen, there's going to be other suggested videos that are hopefully of you, but other ones that YouTube suggests that you watch because they're watching you. They know who you are, and they're trained by your watching history. What they want is you to watch another video. It doesn't matter what the video is. They just want you to watch another video so they can show you another ad. So that's what they care about. Right. They only care about time on platform. So if someone so Lindsay watches all your stuff, so therefore her entire YouTube, not entire, but a lot of her YouTube is probably populated by your videos because YouTube knows she's going to watch one of your videos.
Right.
So the same thing, if you watch cooking, YouTube knows you like what cooking, so they're going to throw up cooking videos because they want time on platform. So that's all they care about. So they reward a channel. They'll reward you for people watching your stuff. So as people watch your stuff, YouTube will reward you by putting your stuff in front of those people. So they keep watching and they stay on YouTube because they want time on platform, because they want advertising dollars. Facebook, on the other hand, they kind of do that, but they don't. They want time on platform. Obviously, every app wants time on platform, but they make most of their money from other advertisements, and they make money from boosting. So if I watch your content on Facebook all the time, after a while, Facebook will roll out another algorithm change going, oh, well, let's cut your audience in half. And the only way you get to be in front of those people again is if you boost your stuff. Now, I don't know if this was fact, but this is the feeling I get, and that's the history. Every time at Propelio, we got to the point where we're getting 100 people watching a video. A month later, there'd be another algorithm rollout. And then, boom, we would go at 20. Doesn't mean we lost 80 people watching our stuff. It's just those 80 people never got notified ever again that we were doing videos. So it goes to the motivations of those platforms. Facebook makes their money if you pay them. YouTube makes their money if other people pay them, so they reward you for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. When you were at Propelio, did you ever struggle for content topics? Were you ever like, man, I don't know what to even say today, but let's just go and see what happens?
So I'm actually proud of this one. A lot of people give me shit for this, but I'm proud of it. So the answer is no, but not because we're geniuses or we're just have all this stuff to talk about. It's realizing from the very beginning that the amount of content I want to put out, I will never be able to come up with that many topics. So instead, hey, Jess, you want to have a show on our platform? Hey, Sekou, you have a show? Daisy, you want to have a show? Kristen, da-da-da-da-da. Yep. And then you let them have their own show on your platform, and they're the one. So you outsource the creativeness. And you provide the stage, you provide a bit of an audience, and they help you with content and they help you with their audience. So if I give you a stage on, say, basically I'm crowdsourcing an audience and I'm at the same time crowdsourcing an audience and also crowdsourcing the content itself. Because if I have you and Kristen, you have your audience, Kristen has her audience, and if I can cross-pollinate on one stage, well, guess what? I have both audiences, and now you have a bit of Kristen's and she has a bit of yours. So I don't think that gets credit enough, and this is one of those moments I'll just do one of these for Seikou's sake, pat myself on the back, because if you think about it, like, I think that's brilliant, going, oh, I'll never have enough content, so let's just get other people to do it for me, right? But then also, what's the easiest way to create an audience? Well, invite other people on,
tap into other audiences, and
if they're bringing guests on, well, those are just more additional opportunities to have additional eyeballs.
Yeah. I think the challenge when you're trying to be creative is to not get in a mode where you go, okay, it's time to be creative. You just kind of got to keep the juices naturally flowing, or it comes across forced. It seems or can seem forced.
Sorry, I saw a text from Sekou, and I thought he was saying screw you.
He was saying wrap it up.
No. It was a video on how to light better. But I was like, oh God, is he saying I'm an idiot?
No, it's for Daisy. Put in the wrong.
Got it. Anyway,
what would you say was the most daunting or challenging time of your life? Your time in the armed forces?
Is this the adversity question?
Well,
you hear that? Did y'all hear that? That's his fake laugh.
TJ would say that adversity is irrelevant. So,
I agree.
Yeah.
The most challenging time?
Yeah.
In challenging, in what way?
Oh, I don't know. When you were just like, man, I just don't have a fire burning. I just don't like what I'm doing. I feel like I want more out of life. Is this all there is to it? Type. 'Cause you're very, very driven. I mean, you're
now, yeah. I've had my ups and downs. I would say the best answer to that is when I was working overseas. So I was over there for about a year and a half. I started out 6 months in Dubai, and then I was a year in Qatar. Working over there is challenging, it's rewarding, and it's a great experience. The problem about it is it kills your soul a little bit. And what I mean by that is, like, there is no dating over there. Like, you do get pessimistic about things. Like, one of the things I like to tell people a lot is how people think we're materialistic over here. That's nothing compared to the Middle East.
No doubt.
Over there, it's like if something's on sale, it sits on sale because nobody wants it because it's on sale. Ew. But at the same time, and I tell women this a lot here, and they're like, no, I would never. I was like, okay. But over there, if you meet like an expat, another Westerner, like in the first 30 days, hey, can I buy you a drink? Yeah. Hey, where are you from? I'm from Texas. Oh, me too. And you have a fun conversation. Well, if they've been there for a minute, hey, can I buy you a drink? They take a step back. No designer watch, no designer belts, no designer shoes. No, I'm good. And I tell people that here, and they're like, I would never, I'm not that bad. I'm like, you've also never had a Rolex on your first date.
Yeah.
Because like the locals over there will literally give you, well, not us, but like an attractive female, like a nice Rolex watch for their first date. Second, third date, they're getting a high-rise apartment. And I know that sounds insane, but when you have all the money in the world, that doesn't sound that insane anymore.
Yeah.
So when you have that, you do get a little pessimistic when it comes to dating. The entire life is just work, and you do have a cool lifestyle. Like I did have high rise. I had a villa in Dubai, but also had a high rise apartment in Qatar, and I was traveling back and forth a lot. And what I like to tell people, and hopefully this doesn't come off as insensitive, but that's just how I kind of see it, is, and this is one of the reasons I had to leave, was living over there as an expat is what I think living in like the deep south pre-civil rights would be like. And what I mean by that is, in the deep south pre-civil rights, nobody was slaves, but you basically had servants to do everything, which is pretty fucked up. But over there, I had you always had somebody to do your laundry, do your dishes, you had a guy for everything. And that's what I meant by that pre-civil rights era, but also the fact that you had second-class citizens. And not in the way that they are, but it's just how they're treated. You do have a working class. And and at some point you get to the point where, like, if I stay here, am I condoning this? And you go, yeah. So I got the fuck out of there.
Gotcha.
And the thing is, and that I was actually prepared for your adversity question, like, what adversity? Because I know you love that. And to me, I was going to hit you back with, I think that's a stupid question for us in America. The fact that it's not a stupid question, but the fact that you do have human slavery to this day in places like the Middle East, in North Africa, in China, in these labor camps, whatever. So like anybody in the United States, like, oh, I lost my job. It's like, yeah, it's fucked up. And yeah, you do have to have empathy and all those things. But compared to what other atrocities are happening around the world, we have no clue.
Yeah, man. I mean, traveling abroad gives you certain perspectives.
Yeah,
I mean, some of the stories that Mike Lyon was sharing a couple of weeks ago on the podcast were just melt your brain. It's crazy.
But again, though, it's like if you stay there, at a certain point, your mind clicks going, oh, I'm condoning this. I'm the problem. Because if I'm here, even though I don't believe in all this craziness, the evilness and all that, and I'm not partaking. Well, I'm taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
The craziest story, it's not that crazy, but it's crazy to me in reflection, was there was a time where I was changing the tire to my car, and as I was changing the tire, this Arabic, it wasn't Arabic, but he was a working class guy, comes over. I was like, no, I got it. And then another guy, no, I got it. And then at the time I was annoyed because I was like, guys, I'm not paying you. I can do my own thing. Because in my mind, they just want money to do their thing, to change the tire. At the end of it, there was probably 15, 20 Nepalese laborers watching me change a tire, and I was a little bit annoyed because I knew they just wanted money. But the reality is, I could have given them $5, and that would have been not life changing, but it would have been huge to them. Mm-hmm. But also the thing that really clicked to me years later is they'd probably never seen a white guy change his own tire, and they probably blew their mind, like, because it would. And I'm not saying like as a white guy I'm superior, but they have because they don't have TV, they don't realize it's just, hey, we're just other humans. But they probably, in their experiences, have probably only seen white people as the bosses or the owners or whatever. And it breaks your heart a little bit thinking about that. It's like, fuck, man. I could have changed my own tire, given $20 and then that would have been huge. But I was young and naive and I just didn't have those perspectives. So again, the adversity thing, I think it's funny when here it's like, oh yeah, I'm struggling with this, struggling with that. Oh, the Rona's got me down. It's like, we're good. Yeah, we're okay.
Yeah, in the grand scheme, there's
always a grand scheme.
Yeah. Is this the first time that you've ever ventured out, done your own, had a venture of this size on your own?
Well, this size, yeah. After Tim, I to answer your earlier question, I was a little that as well, a little like challenging, like woe is me,
right?
Because I didn't go full steam, and when I did try to go full steam, I sucked. I wasn't that good because I had all this emotional baggage that I was trying to take into a new venture. This venture, I'm like, it has its challenges, but it also has many rewards.
Yeah.
But I also have a good team. I have good support.
Most definitely.
That Mac, who's the landlord here, who owns the place, he's amazing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite conversations I have around here is like, man, this is great. As it grows, you could build out a studio. I'm like, I'm never leaving here.
Yeah.
I don't care. This place is amazing. The people that you meet here are great.
For sure.
Anyway.
That's awesome. If interested clients want to get a hold of you, how can they do
the wrap
that?
up? Is this the wrap up?
Yeah.
I thought we were going all night, man.
This is the non-camouflaged wrap up.
It's only 3:38. We've only been doing this an hour.
Unfortunately.
You're already done.
Well, I overhydrated prior.
You can go pee.
So, well, I could.
Just go pee. Come back.
I mean, it's my podcast.
Yeah, I'm telling you what to do.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, producer.
You feel better?
I do, bro. Thank you, man.
You got your Wawa.
Yeah.
Take care of it.
Do you write any of your goals down, or are you hey, I know my direction, and I'm just all about putting in building.
That whole manifest, I think that's BS.
Yeah, you gotta speak it into existence, bro.
So stupid.
Come on, bro.
Don't bro me, bro. No, it's I do have goals, and the ultimate goal is just
visualize.
I do visualize.
Verbalize.
Okay. But it's like, what's your plan with this? What's your goal with this? What you want to do with this? I was like, well, I want to own the world. You want to conquer. You want to, not in a competitive beat people into submission, but you do have competition. Like, if I see other people do content, yes, you want to collaborate and you want to work together. But also, it's like, I want to make sure we're doing better.
Yeah.
If I see somebody do a show, I'm like, okay, what are they doing that's better than what we're doing?
I fucking hope you're competitive, because I'm competitive as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, I am here to conquer the goddamn world.
I'm not spending $5 on a new audio board.
I'm giving you shit. Didn't we spend $800 on a light?
The Daisy light.
The Daisy light.
The Daisy light. Yeah. And I'm thinking, do I got to buy another one now? Shit.
Got to balance it out.
Yeah. But you know what, though? Because we were talking about staffing earlier and emotionality. It's the first time I saw a genuine smile out of Daisy. Yeah, she was like so excited.
That's all it took?
Look at that face. Look at that light. Yeah.
That is awesome.
That's all from a light.
Well, you took her input. See, you listened.
Of course.
This is important to people.
Of course. You got to listen.
They want to feel listened to.
Well, hopefully it's not feel listened, but actually listened to.
No, you're like, sometimes you do just.
Would you rather be felt like you're being listened to, or actually listened to? Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, anyone who's been in a relationship knows that sometimes you do actually listen, and sometimes you make them feel like they're being listened to.
Very true.
This is Saker's all about it.
I'm eternally single, so I don't know what that means.
Well, we've got to get that changed, ladies.
Hey,
hit me up at Jess from the Northwest, and I'll hook you up with Ryan. you have gone to great lengths not to burn bridges. I mean, when we talk off camera all the time. I throw people under the bus. I'm a little free and easy with that. A lot of that's because I'm a burgeoning stand-up comic. But you don't do that. But have you had people come at you haters?
Oh yeah.
And what's that like for you? Because you've got great perspective on this.
Well, you learn your lessons there too, because there was one guy who came after me for 1 minute.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've told you this
1
story.
minute, you have, and it's a great story.
Which one?
The suicide.
Yeah. That don't make me laugh at that. Now I look like an asshole.
You do.
So,
like I said, burgeoning stand-up comic.
So
I'm going to give Gretchio a run for her money.
she has a show tonight, by the way.
That's awesome. Everybody tune in.
What? Oh, I don't know if I've told you all this story yet, but this is I'm not proud of this. So this one guy was coming after me. It was like at 7 o'clock at a Friday night. Obviously, I'm still at the office working as at Propelio, and he was talking a lot of crap about Propelio, which is, you know what, whatever. He was like, "Oh, you're a fat fuck." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." But then he started talking shit about Propelio, and I was like, but the thing is, though, if you're going to come at somebody, you got to make sure your skeletons that are in your closet are on lockdown. Problem is, like, there was some pretty strong rumors about this guy that, you know, were out there.
Yeah.
If you're Googleable,
They were inflammatory, folks.
yeah.
Let's just put
So
it
anyway,
that way.
So all I did, this is me saying all I did. I went to a certain Facebook group that I knew loved to jump on stuff. And all I said was, "Hey, if you want to have a good time tonight, Google this guy's name in this city." That's all I did. And then I let the chips fall where they fell.
I'm a fire starter. Insane
So what happened was, then all of a sudden, one person Googled it, and then two people Googled it, and then you start seeing comments like, "Oh my God, oh shit, da 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 da."
Arsonist.
I burnt, yes, because then everybody started, because it grew like wildfire.
Yeah, what do you?
I don't know. It was pretty bad. So basically,
I'm from Texas.
I don't know if I want to get into too many details because that's kind of rude.
I mean, I think people get the general gist. It was inflammatory.
He was a suspect at.
It's up to you, man.
I don't care.
I don't want to get into too many details. So, what was going down?
The
prime suspect.
The social security number of this person.
So we had some fraud on the line.
No, basically, this guy was the prime suspect in theft of his dead girlfriend's body from a funeral home.
Wow.
And the body had never been found.
Double wow.
He was found completely innocent.
Triple wow.
But again, you came at me in my company that I had a high emotional capital with.
Yes.
And I hopefully Daisy and Sekou will feel like this for me in our company. But and it was a 7 o'clock on a Friday.
They'll gaslight someone.
Remember, all I did was put a name and a city. That's all I did.
I mean,
I never said anything.
You're Sweden, man.
I'm
passive bystander, bro.
Anyway, about an hour and a half later, somebody was like, "Dude, you should probably take that down. He might commit suicide." And I was like,
Yikes.
"Don't put that on me." He didn't. He did. Well, he didn't.
Gloria a Dios.
I know. So I was like, I probably should take this down. Okay. So I listened to reason. So anyway, I'm not proud of everything, but usually my go-to is typically to just, you know, if you let it go, it'll die off. Because again, if you know how Facebook and these social media algorithms work, is if you speak something out, you reach this circle.
Right.
If I respond, well, I just add another circle. So every time somebody inputs, you're adding another sphere of influence. But if the attack is coming towards me and I respond in any way, all I've done is either amplified it or justified it by or legitimizing it by commenting on it at all. So what I've learned is if you've got a hater, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just let it, because again, it'll die off in a couple of days. And same thing with like an ex-girlfriend or an ex-boyfriend or whatever. If they're coming at you, if you respond, they're the ones that look crazy. They are the ones that look insane. Whatever inflammatory things they're trying to say, the hating or whatever, whether it be personal or private or whatever it is. But if you respond, and I've had battles with previous companies I work with because people were starting rumors. I was like, look, if you respond, you're amplifying the message, and you're also legitimizing it by responding. Ultimately, that's the best response. Best response on that, depending on. But again, I get it. If you're at the schoolyard, you feel like you have to respond. So typically nowadays, I keep my mouth shut.
Yeah,
at least try.
Is this will be the advice that you give to your superstar influencer clients? Hey, let's just let this, or let your fans shout them down.
The thing is, like, it goes back to it's the internet.
Yeah,
people love anonymity.
Yeah, they do.
So, like, if I say, "Hey, Jess, you're an asshole," you can swing at me and deck me.
Yep.
But if I'm on the internet, I'm like, "You're an asshole."
Right.
It's like, and you jump on that comment. Yep. Well, then you're the asshole.
Yeah.
Just let it flow.
Yeah, you got to kind of let it just.
But yeah, that's my advice. It's
like
just,
water
it's
off the duck's back. Yeah.
Because, like, here's the thing: is like, there's a guy I know who a large majority of the investment community was calling a fraud, coming after him, saying he's this, he's that, bigger pocket, worst person ever. You know what he did? Not a damn thing. Guess where he's not? In prison. Guess what he's still doing? All his videos and podcasting and all that. You know why? Because he didn't amplify it. Mm-hmm. He is a perfect example of not amplifying bullshit. It could be true. It could be false. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I haven't done any research, and I know nothing about it. Do I like the guy? Yeah, he's a friend of mine. But I know nothing about all the stuff that's coming after him. I do know he didn't respond to it, and therefore he still has a platform. He still has fans. He still has listeners. He still has investors. He still has all that. But in my opinion, if he would have defended himself, he might lose a lot of that.
Crazy. Do you think as a culture we're getting dumber because influencers have wield so much power?
I think if 2020 were going to be a movie, it would be half 1984 and half Idiocracy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've read that book or watched that movie.
Yes, both.
I think both of those.
Go away, Baton. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got electrolytes.
Right out the fountain, bro.
Yeah, I think if both of those, I think 2020 is a cross between those two.
Didn't they water the crops with it too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because why not?
What is that called?
Yeah,
Brondo.
Yeah, Brondo.
It's what the plants crave.
Yeah, yeah. That's a funny show.
Click
man.
below to purchase.
Luke Wilson, the Pride of Dallas.
Is it?
Yeah, he's from here, bro.
How would you know he's from Dallas?
Everyone knows that Luke and Owen are from Dallas and went to St. Mark's.
Do you know who those people are, and do you know that they're from
Luke
Dallas?
and Owen Wilson?
Yeah.
Owen Wilson,
did you know
meet
them
the
from
parents?
Dallas?
I know one of them.
Owen Wilson, he kind of talks like Kermit the Frog a little bit,
Please continue.
Just a little bit. No, I'm not. No good.
Great content.
I'm no good.
Lindsay will love you on that one.
I need drinks to be Mr. Impersonation guy. Well, what do you do if you're an influencer? Do you just shut that part of your conscience down? You're like, I don't care if everyone's getting dumber because I'm getting richer, or are there influencers who have this crisis of conscience where they're like, man, what is everyone following me for? Because I'm pretty or buff?
So there's one way I can answer that is everybody deals with imposter syndrome. Everybody.
Right.
Like last year I was in the Zuckerberg Institute, which is Randy Zuckerberg's mastermind group. Randy Zuckerberg is Mark Zuckerberg's sister, highly intelligent, really amazing marketer, and also created Facebook Live. Mm-hmm. Brilliant. And
that's a resume bullet point.
Yeah. Well, I was showing they did this earlier. It's like one of my favorite Instagram posts is me looking stupid and Randy writing blue steel. I'm like, look at me. I got Randy saying, hey.
That's awesome.
But the thing is, though, like in one of her things was like, everybody like, and you can just Google her and see an idea of how much money she has. And you're like, holy shit. Even with that much money, even with that much success, even she deals with imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar with that, that's just like, why are people looking at me for
Right.
advice or whatever? Why am I the boss? Why am I the owner? Why
I don't
am I in
deserve
charge?
this
I don't deserve it.
credit, success.
Well, like
whatever.
Matt Damon has a great. There's a clip on YouTube about him talking about John Malkovich when they're doing that movie Rounders.
Yeah.
Where their first scene, the first thing they ever did. John Malkovich does the whole "give that man his money,"
Right.
and everybody's applauding, and then John Malkovich just leans over to Matt Damon and is like, "I'm a terrible actor," and it's just
Teddy KGB.
well, yeah, but it was
Yeah.
just like.
Yeah, I've seen
He
that.
knew he was being absurd.
Yeah.
And Matt Damon was like, is he being for real? And then everybody else was like, oh my God, you're so amazing.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think it's just that self-awareness of not
Right.
believing your own bullshit.
Well,
You know,
fame,
not buying into it.
just like money, amplifies either the good parts about you or the
Absolutely.
bad parts about you. So if you are a piece of shit and then you become
Yeah.
a rich piece of shit, you're still a piece of shit. So
It's not, again, the influencer game, there's a reason for it. And people, but you have to realize that you're a character in some ways and not buying into that. Do you know who Andrew Dice Clay is?
oh yeah,
So Andrew Dice Clay,
Yeah.
you know, he's a comedian,
great story.
but the character of Hickory Dickory Dock, you know, that character,
Gloves,
all of it,
the neck shirts.
that was a character
Yeah.
that he performed on stage,
dice.
the Dice Man.
Yeah.
But that got all the praise.
Yep.
And then he just slowly started only becoming that.
Yep.
So even off stage, he was still that guy. So he lost his personal persona and he became his comedian, the Dice Man persona. And the trick is not, at least in my opinion, not doing that, not being an asshole.
He's a great actor too. Did you see A Star Is Born with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, the Chris Christopherson remake?
I saw
He kills himself at the end. Sorry, folks. Spoiler alert.
the Lady Gaga version, or
Yeah, Lady Gaga.
he was in that.
He's her dad, and he's great.
Okay.
He's awesome.
I seen half of it. I don't like sad movies. So
Yeah,
the first
it's-
half is great. I've seen the first half 3
It's a
times.
little sad.
But then I know it gets sad, so I stop watching
does,
because
yeah.
I'm stupid like that.
Well, Sam Elliott's in there. You got to watch any movie with Sam
I
Elliott.
know,
in
I
there.
know. But another quick story is this is so stupid, but I don't want to. Well, I don't care. I won't name drop. We did a Halloween event last year, and everybody's in costume, and one of the speakers was dressed up, but not in costume. But everybody thought he was dressed up as Prince, and that was just what he wore. And we're like, is he serious? But he it's like, dude, he bought into that image way too much.
Like a ruffle pirate shirt. and
not
stuff?
that bad, not that
Okay.
bad, but like
Still,
almost like high heel boots almost.
really.
It was pretty feminine, you know, which is whatever. Who
Like
cares?
the little dude on the Diet Dr. Pepper commercials.
Yeah,
Little
kinda.
smooth.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know he's the guy from the first season of American Idol?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
He used to date what's her face?
I'm not really a P1 of American Idol. I mean, I got to admit,
What's a P1?
it means that you're a consumer of that channel or station to the exclusivity of all others.
Kelly Clarkson.
It's a radio term.
Yeah, he
Really? He
came
dated
in-
Kelly Clarkson?
Yeah, because he came in second.
Justin?
Is that his name? I'm not a P1, but you know the guy's name?
Justin Guglielano or
Look at this
something?
guy. I just
No.
tricked you. I
No.
just tricked you.
No.
You heard it here, folks.
No.
Zoom in here.
You know how you
I'm
have a
producing
terrible...
the show.
No.
Jess Marshall is a
Don't
huge
listen
fan
to this guy. Don't
of
listen.
American Idol.
If you listen, I'll have to ask you to unsubscribe. Please
No,
don't do that.
don't do that.
Don't do that. No, you know how you have a bad memory?
Yeah.
As bad as your memory is, that's as good as mine is.
Yeah.
Literally.
So, but that's the thing is like, okay.
That's why we make a great team, man.
Yeah, here's something that most people know about me, but don't realize it's actually true.
Ooh, I was going to ask you this question, so
Well, there
fire
you go.
away.
I do not know music lyrics ever.
But you're a singer? So you were just reading
I
off
can karaoke. I'm a karaoke deity.
because you can read deity. Wow.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen.
If we go
okay,
to karaoke,
let's do it. What's your karaoke go-to?
I have several. What's the mood of the room?
I don't know. I do.
Have I stretched?
Wow. So are you doing like show tunes, Barbra Streisand, Journey,
So I've got a few go-tos.
AC/DC?
It depends on the crowd.
Johnny Cash?
I will do Proud Mary.
Oh, Beautiful.
Tina Turner version.
Do you crush it?
Yeah. I have never done that song without getting random women to dance on stage with me.
Wow.
Yeah.
These are bold claims, folks.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna have to see this in action. Let's go up to Drake's right now.
I can't do that. I need to stretch, and I need to. I don't have the lungs anymore. I would need to exercise. I need about
This
3
is
months.
bullshit. These are excuses.
I need a 3-month training.
You can't
period.
fucking make a claim and then not.
Yeah. I need a 3-month training to be able to do karaoke.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna name the date, and then we're sticking to the date.
We'll do a save the date.
Come hell, come high water, come Corona times 2, coronavirus the remix.
Yeah,
we're
we'll
still doing it.
February,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Save the date. And another one is Suddenly Seymour from Little Shop of Horrors, the duet version.
Okay.
And
Not familiar.
it's a duet between the dude and the girl. So the guy's like, lift up your head, watch out for your mascara. But then the girl's part is like, nobody ever treated me quite. And I'll do that. So anyway, I start that song and no one's paying attention. But then when you see like a giant dude on stage doing that voice, people are like, what the fuck is on stage? And then by the end of the song, you get a huge applause.
I bet you do, man.
Yeah.
Superstar.
Anyway, that's my karaoke. You see how energetics I get for karaoke?
Well, I always want to ask a guest, like, what is something fascinating about you that no one knows? But that seems like it's a very canned.
I have so many fans in the karaoke.
It's a very canned question. Do you?
No, not
Okay.
anymore.
So
I used to.
But you could be like a karaoke influencer.
God, what the hell does that mean? Man,
That would be legit.
Jeez, man. Like, can you imagine going on a date? It's like, what? Who are you? What do you do? It's
I'm
like,
a karaoke
if you didn't
influencer.
know, if you go to my Instagram, I have 1,700 followers
You
for my
have
karaoke
straight up
channel.
faxed my office this statement. I only date 23 or younger. That is the statement you faxed to my office.
I don't have
And 23-year-olds and younger would be impressed by a karaoke influencer.
First of all, I think the very definition of that comment is ridiculous, because if somebody's saying I only date 23 or younger, but I faxed it.
Thank you. You've heard this.
A fax machine?
No, you faxed it over to my
Who
office.
faxes anything?
You still have to
ever?
fax stuff sometimes,
Never.
man. Yeah, people
Who are
still
you-
fax.
Yeah, the people that are faxing aren't living in 2020.
There's a lot of attorneys who still fax. This is a true story.
Yeah, but they're also not making claims that they only date 23 or younger.
This is a claim I know that other living humans can corroborate.
I've never said 23.
I believe that I'm right.
The answer is 30.
Next time, we have.
No, I'm. That's a joke. That's a joke. I say.
Yeah.
That's not provable because
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Because I'm like, it's a joke because I would, but I haven't.
Oh, gotcha.
David over 30.
Interesting. Okay.
But I would.
Of course. Yeah.
Just haven't.
Yeah, especially if that personality was awesome.
What?
Especially if the personality was awesome.
I mean, there's actually a couple women in my life right now I would love to date, but I mean, I'm not. Have you ever seen geez, I lost his name.
Oh,
Chappelle Show.
Memory.
I know.
Yes.
Remember the Clayton Bigsby skit where
Sorta.
he's the white, he's the supremacist,
Yes.
the blind white supremacist.
White supremacist.
Well, anyway, at the end of the skit, he divorces his wife because she married a black dude.
Right.
And so anyway, that's kind of how I feel about any girl that would date me right now in my current weight.
Oh.
I'm like, ew, you would date this? That's disgusting.
I got you.
I'm out. Which is absurd. It's a mental problem I have.
Yeah. We got to break you out of that.
I need to go to work out. That's what I need to do.
You just got to look right in the mirror and just say, what is it?
That's the
Al
problem is I
Franken?
look in the mirror and I'm like, damn, I look
Stuart
good.
Smalley?
And then Sekou takes a picture of me and I'm like, holy shit.
Do not post that.
Well, I don't
what you
care.
say?
I'll post it. No, post it away. I don't care.
Post
but my
away,
problem is
bro.
like you know what body dysmorphia is?
I think so.
It's a lot of what the bulimics and anorexics
Right.
have. They look at the mirror and they see disgusting. They see fat. They see weight. Body. They're what they see is something that's not there.
Right.
I have the opposite. I look at the mirror and I'm like, damn, I look good.
I got
I
you.
see a picture and I'm like, oh, I don't look good.
Well, I mean,
Which is a healthy thing, I suppose.
yeah, it's a solvable problem. It's 100% a solvable problem.
I know. I just got to eat better and go to the gym.
Yeah, well, you got your ankle fixed. How many times have you had your ankle work done now?
Twice.
Just 2 times. Yeah, you don't win the surgery award at this table. That's for sure.
No.
Just 2.
Just 2 surgery on my ankle, yeah.
You're not even on the junior varsity of.
Yeah, but I'm not like, oh, my
surgeries at the
ankle. My
That's
surgery.
true. That's true.
Rugby.
I have never complained about my injuries once.
You always complain.
Wow, this is news to me.
I think every podcast, I think this is number 16 for you.
I think it's 15, but you might be right.
I think it's 16 because 15, I believe,
I've
was
complained about my rugby injuries in every
single
podcast. Wow, this is.
I think it's come up every single podcast.
Wow, this is a real blind spot for me. I don't feel like Man, thank you for pointing it out to me.
Yeah.
I've really got this thing where I feel sorry for myself a lot.
About your injuries, yeah.
Yeah, and it's
okay though. It's
really
endearing.
affecting my ability to operate as a productive member of society.
Especially when it gets cold and rains.
Yeah, when I can tell that there's a front moving in. No, you're a dick. I never mentioned my fucking rugby injuries.
Where has he had his surgeries? Sekou?
Say the amount of times he's mentioned it.
No, like where? What part of his body?
Yeah, what parts of my body?
Shoulders.
Boom.
Damn.
The fact that he can name at least one.
That's true.
At least the fact that he's able to name one, at least one.
This is eye-opening. Really is.
Turn the table of truth to the table of, oh, shit.
I'm disappointed in myself. I really am. I think it was more just proving that I've got, a point of reference because I've been there.
Yeah. No, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like every surgery, every scar has stories. But some of those stories don't need to be told as much.
Yeah, apparently not. God damn. Y'all are a tough crowd.
No.
Hold on, I pay you guys?
No. But I mean, the thing is though, but you played rugby way harder than I've ever played any sport ever. And that was the problem. I always got in trouble with, what was the coach's name?
Freddie?
No, not Freddie.
Art?
No, not Art.
Alan?
At Quinn's.
Molly?
Molly guy. He was always like, stop being the Jolly Green Giant. Because my thing is like, if I can run over you, I don't have to be aggressive about it. I'll just run over you.
Oh, yeah, you got to be aggressive.
But you can run over somebody in a nice way.
No, you can't. You got to make them into just a oil mark on the pavement.
But you can still do that and be kind about it.
No, be kind about it.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things.
Fucking rugby.
Yeah.
It's not tennis,
no,
bro.
There was one
we don't
time,
wear skirts out there.
My favorite thing ever was we were playing the last time, the All Blacks, and I knocked this good-looking blonde kid. I mean, he looked like somebody who could have been in a magazine or something. And
one of those.
You know what I'm talking. He was probably like one of those winger types that get all the fame, get all the girls, whatever, that never get hit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mistimed my lunge, so he literally just threw the ball out, and I knocked. I mean, I'm surprised he still exists because I laid him the fuck out. And I was like, oh, my bad. He's like, yeah. But I mean, it was like one of the most, if he had the ball on him, he would have lost the ball. There was no way. I hit him so hard. There's no way he could have had it. But my point to that story is not that I knocked the crap out of somebody. It was like, oh, my bad. And I was real kind about it. And I helped him up.
You apologized.
Oh, yeah. Or there was times like you just be in the bottom of a scrum and just like, hey, man, how you doing? You know,
just talking to him.
Yeah, because
Did you know about rugby when you were at Euless Trinity? Because there's tons of Tongans and stuff over there.
I got into it at
North Texas. Yeah. How'd you find it?
I can't remember. It's been so many
years. Frat brother or something?
No, I was never in the fraternity.
Had a boy. Neither was I.
No. Yeah. As the Marines, I didn't need that crap. Well, again, I'm overly confident in areas I don't need to be.
Oh, I disagree.
But
I support all heightened confidence.
Yeah. Well, that was another thing that was funny to me is like I was in cheerleading, so I was around like legit gay people all the time. And is cheerleading feminine? Sure, whatever. Who cares? But rugby is way more gay than cheerleading will ever be.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, and it's 20, whatever. I don't know, if we get canceled, we get canceled.
Yeah.
My best friends are gay. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So in cheerleading, maybe we can have this conversation.
Yeah.
I'm a dude throwing up a really hot, attractive female up in the air, and I spend all my time with hot, really attractive females. Rugby, I remember Duke.
Yeah.
giving giving Lucas like what is the like on the bellies?
Yeah.
Like because they were wrestling and he was all fast and Lucas is a big old prop dude. He can't.
Yeah.
And he gave him like what do you call those?
Raspberry?
A raspberry on his tummy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm the gay one? That's what is that?
So people gave you shit about being a male cheerleader?
In a fun way. It was like
kind of like, Greg, you're a male nurse.
Kind of like me giving you shit about your shoulders or your surgeries.
Well, I'm going to be pretty bummed out about that later, to be honest with you.
Why?
I'm just fucking
but you're screwing with each other. But that's that's what guys do. They bust each other's balls. But anyway, it was the whole like, oh, I'm the gay one, but they're the ones that are like actually almost borderline performance.
Yeah, there's interesting things that go on in for sure.
Or being the bottom of the scrum and somebody grabbing your and squeezing, but that was violent.
Those are
that's happened.
Those
before.
are hard facts that we all have to deal with in the game of rugby. How did cheerleading find its way into your life?
Dude, I remember there was a girl who I had the biggest crush on, and she was a cheerleader at my high school, and I was like, man, she's everything. If only I could go out with this person. Oh my god, she's when you're young, you're like you have these pedestal. Whatever.
Oh yeah.
And she invited me to go, not romantic at all. She just said, hey, you want to go to this thing? And it was a cheerleading competition. It was like, but it wasn't the school. It was her
like club
team cheerleading. So I went and watched, and her team that she was on, all the guys were on it were from like another high school, and I'm like, wait, I can do this. I could be hanging out with this hot whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And
so you joined the team the next day?
No, I used a phone book because there was no internet. I'm so old.
To do what?
To find a cheerleading gym. And there was a cheerleading gym around the corner. And I went down there and I went to I remember this. I was like, they look at me like I'm an idiot because, I'm this big ass. It was like 98. It was the summer of 98, and I go in there, and they're like, there's this giant football player. And I'm like, hey, I just went to a cheer competition. Do y'all how does that work? They're like, oh my God, thank you for being here. We actually were wanting to create a co-ed team. So perfect timing.
Yeah.
So me being at the gym kind of solidified them that club to start.
Did they have to
team.
dial you back because you're tossing them so far up there? They're like, we're not used to this.
No. When we do bass toss, we'd hit the ceiling.
Wow.
But the girls, they bounce.
Did you ever drop anyone was going to be my next question.
Twice.
The girls, they bounce. Yeah?
Twice. I've dropped twice.
Wow.
Early on.
Does that still haunt you to this day?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But you think with age, you get perspective.
Were they okay?
Yeah, they're fine. They bounce.
Like the Beast UFC on Instagram? She okay, though?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, he puts the craziest stuff out there, like car accidents, people getting in fights, and like it looks like they're dead. And then his caption is always, he okay, though, or she okay, though. It's crazy.
Here's the thing is, like, when you're getting started, if you don't have somebody who's Jesus, that's a giant fly. If you don't have somebody who's spotting you, and if you do have somebody spotting you and they're not doing their job,
right,
that's more on them than you.
Yeah.
But as you learn and as you do it more, like, you'll never drop somebody. Even if you do, you catch them.
Would you like be in on defense, and then when the offense went in, you'd run over to the cheerleaders and do cheerleading at the games?
I never. The first time I cheered at a game was in college.
Gotcha.
Because my senior year in high school, I played football and I did the club team cheerleading.
Yeah.
But by doing that, my first girlfriend was the head cheerleader because I didn't date.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I know, yeah. Well, that's part of the problem why I'm single now. And we can get into that.
Because we need to get you back into cheerleading?
No. Well, here's the thing is, so like, I was like this fat ass dude my entire life. But like, summer between my sophomore and junior year, I trimmed up a lot. But in your head, you're still fat. You still have low self-confidence with all that. So when I started cheerleading, my first girlfriend was the head cheerleader at Richland High School. So literally from the time of 1998 to like '08, every single female in my life was like a cheerleader, whether they be friends or dating or any of that, you know? So it's kind of like my mentality towards women is skewed a lot because it's like, you know, a regular human isn't 98 pounds and you should be able to throw them in the air.
Gotcha.
You know? So like visually, my standards for women are way skewed because in my head, I look in the mirror and I look like I'm hot, but then I see a picture from Skate and I'm like, ugh. But then my standards over here are like, well, you need to be, you know, a supermodel.
Yeah.
So I'm visually driven, which sucks, but whatever.
Well, a lot of dudes are.
They all are.
It's kind of how we're wired.
Yeah.
How y'all are wired.
Y'all. You're happily engaged.
Yeah, man.
No, but the cheerleading thing was fun. But motivations to get started, I think, for all straight guys is because that's where the like really hot chicks are. But you get over that very quickly. Like once you start throwing people in the air, you're like, this is fun.
Yeah, I bet.
You know, like, so one of the most annoying questions you get as a guy cheerleader all the time is, oh, you like looking up the girls' skirts? I'm like, dude, I'm holding a human being, sometimes two human beings up in the air with one arm. Do you think I'm thinking anything other than please don't drop this chick?
Yeah.
Like the amount of times you grab a butt or a chest or any kind of body part so they survive, you get over that.
Yeah,
so
sure.
like the sexualization of cheerleading goes away very quickly.
Well, yeah, when you're thinking about, when it's life and death, I'm sure that.
I mean, it's when you're like me doing cheerleading would be different than like somebody who's not very good at tumbling. Like if they're tumbling, like they're doing, oh, I'm just doing this and this.
Right.
But like me, I'm like,
yeah.
So you got to concentrate on that.
I got you. What's your work-life balance like?
Now?
Yeah.
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 What are you talking about?
Well,
This is I'm not working right now.
What are your hobbies?
This? I have no work. I already said I'm here 7 days a week, 12
Watching
days.
Coach Lasso.
Dude, I like that show. That's a good show.
It's kind of funny.
Did you watch it yet?
I've watched a few.
You didn't watch the whole thing?
I'm not a big Jason Sudeikis fan. I mean, I try. I do. Some of it's funny. Like some of the horrible bosses stuff. So it's funny for a minute, but then it's like he sort of loses focus or something.
Dude, that show is amazing. Well, here's why it's amazing. And I don't know if it'll be amazing in 2021. But in 2020, it is amazing because of so much bullshit that we live through right now. That show is so drama-free happy.
Yeah.
Like anytime there is a drama, you're like, oh, there's going to be drama. It's happy.
Yeah.
He just gets through it. It's so optimistic in a weird,
Heartwarming.
pessimistic time. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a weird pessimistic time, is it not?
Well, you know, it's funny because like I had maybe it's just because I don't care about the election much, but like Joe Biden's going to be the next president. I'm like, that's so depressing. But equally, if President Trump was still going to be the president, I'd be like, oh, that's so depressing.
Oh, it's
like to me, it's depressing that either one of them.
It's
are
bleak either way.
Because I don't like either one of them.
Well, the bummer to me, and I think a lot of this comes down to social media. That social media documentary on Netflix explained it pretty well. Is just how divided everyone is.
Well, people don't have a conversation.
Yeah, but there are people who are just like, we're not friends anymore if this. And they just make these ultimatum comments that are, come on, man.
But a lot of that goes to that when I was talking about the manipulation and how easily programmed people are.
Right.
So they're programmed, because here's the thing is, that statement right there, when it was the last time, and you're also talking about internet, when's the last time that you actually tried to have a conversation with somebody that you disagree with and it got violent?
Oh, in person?
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My point to that is what you see on Facebook, Twitter, TV, how divided we are and how people arguing and fighting and yelling.
Right.
The reality is, like, you could probably have go have a conversation with Sekou or Daisy and y'all or me, and we have difference of opinions. And I don't think anybody is going to be throwing punches.
No.
I don't think anybody's going to raise their voice. There may be some frustrations, but I think people in general, in person, can have conversations.
You think this division is fake then?
Yeah.
Or sensationalized?
I think it's sensationalized.
Yeah.
I think, yes, you do have assholes. There are assholes, but you always have assholes. But, and
Do we have more now?
Probably.
Yeah.
But I think also it kind of conflicts with earlier statements how everybody's full of shit and don't listen, whatever. I'm kind of kidding, but I'm kind of serious. But I think in general, and I do think in general people are stupid, but I also don't think everybody's an asshole. I think people typically want to be liked and they want to like other people.
Right.
But when you throw the internet into the mix and you throw just the media into the mix, people think we're more divided than we are. I don't think and maybe I'm just naive, but I think people can have conversations. They just choose to believe that they don't have that ability.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good perspective.
At least I hope.
Oh, I don't know. It seems like even in real life, there are people. Politics is dividing families, friends. You're gonna let someone who you've never met divide you from someone who you've known for 25 years.
I think a lot
that
of that
makes no sense.
But maybe that relationship wasn't that solid.
Yeah, I mean, apparently not.
You know,
I mean,
it's ridiculous. Like, because here's the reality. Say take the election. Biden's in power, Trump's in power. Is it really going to affect your life that much, other than maybe his tax policy? The president of the United States typically doesn't affect you that much.
no actual effect right away. No.
Yeah.
And my view of politics is it's the WWE with suits on.
Absolutely.
It's all just let's get as many eyes on us all the time. And the last 4 years have been insane.
Yeah.
It's
I think that's the biggest sentiment is the fact that Biden is probably going to be the next president based on the fact that he's not Donald Trump.
right.
And this is the thing is like I've been very verbal about being a never Trumper, and the chaos of 2020 has made me go, maybe I should vote for him. And then I saw that first debate and I was like, I'm never voting for this dude. And then I saw bits of the second debate and I'm like, dude, if you would just do that all the time, I could easily vote for you. And then it's like election day. It's like, I'd rather not do anything. So I didn't vote.
Didn't you?
And I know there's probably, public shaming. You got to do your service. You didn't do. I'm like, I was in the Marines for like 6 years. Fuck off. I've served my time. What have you done? Like, you voted? Okay, cool. But it's like, if I was going to vote, it would be for Kanye, which is really throwing your vote away.
He wasn't even on the ballot, man.
Yeah, but he got like, what, 60,000 votes?
Of write-ins?
I think so.
But a lot of those automated ballots, you can't write in. I think a lot of those were in there were some northern states he was on the ballot.
Yeah, I just think, but again, though, the politics in Kentucky.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kentucky. Yeah, but like Sekou and I talk about this a lot, is national politics is crap. It's all about local.
Right.
The local is the only thing that matters. Mm-hmm. And the reality is most people have no clue about local.
No. I mean, if you see half the politics signs, the candidate signs, it would say start at the top and vote.
The amount of robocalls I got on Tuesday.
See, I got none. It's crazy.
I wish I would have voted.
How long have you had that phone number? 10 years?
Yeah.
I've had mine for about 20.
So
I don't
since
get
I got
any.
back from Dubai.
Oh.
I wish I would have voted just so I could go through and be like, oh, who's the opposite of you?
Right.
Yeah. Or there was one ad I saw a lot about how somebody was like, I don't know, any kind of ads. Like, if I saw your ad, I want to vote against you.
Well, I think a lot of people use politics and politicians, again, as an excuse not to look in the mirror. So if my life sucks, it's because Biden's president. If my life sucks right now, it's because Trump's president.
Yes,
How
take
about
ownership.
if you take ownership and if you realize that you have certain control and a lot of it in your own life of what you do with your body, put into your body, how you react
But the
to other
problem
people.
is like, you coming at it like that gets heard as almost like victim blaming or victim shaming. And the reality is, it's like you.
But I'm independent, so
No, but I'm just saying in general, you have to be empathetic. It's like if somebody's a drug addict or somebody's a criminal, it's like, okay, I can understand drug addict, criminal, but you have to have empathy. It's like, okay, just because they have those life decisions, you can't write them off all completely.
No, I'm not saying.
I know. I'm
not saying that.
But a friend of mine, he was pretty harsh on it last Saturday, and we had a discussion. We didn't fight, but we're like, listen, I mean, you gotta be empathetic. He's like, no, they should all die. I'm like, you can't be like that, dude. You gotta be. I mean, he didn't say that, but you have to have empathy, and I think that's one of the biggest problems we have in this country at the moment is the lack of empathy to people with different opinions, different cultural backgrounds, different everything.
Totally.
You know, but the reality is 2 white guys sitting at a table aren't going to fix anything.
No, but you do have to be the change you want to see. So you can't go around and go take extreme ownership and then go blame everything on people either.
But not to look at me how awesome I am, but it goes back to why I left a fairly lucrative job trajectory in the Middle East as an expat. Sure. Because if you know that culture, you know that history, and I lived in a high, I was making a shit ton of money, and I threw it all away because if you keep doing it, well then you're condoning it.
Yeah.
So it's like you just got to make decisions and choices for yourself. And if you don't, well, then you're the asshole.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
You know?
I mean, it's your life, so, I mean, whatever you want to do with it. Yeah. It's my life. God. This isn't, it's not karaoke hour now. I mean, it could be.
Why are we here?
That's John Bon Jovi. Yeah. Awesome, man. Good stuff.
Oh,
thanks for your time.
You're like, now I'm done.
Yeah, you sang, and I was like, I'm out.
You're like, if
you sing, I'm out.
We got a potty break in, but no,
later,
we're done.
I'm out. I'm outie 9,000.
We only got through 3 of your questions.
I know, because everything was just flowing, man.
Rejection.
Because you understand how
every
to answer.
Female I've asked out lately.
Jesus.
Nutrition fitness doesn't exist. Oh, she already ended it?
No, she unplugged the.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh shit.
You answer questions, but you expound. You know, I ask some people questions, and they're like, "Yeah, that's what I had to say."
Big one.
That's
use the big one. The big one still works, probably. Is that subversity, recreation hobbies, don't have it, unwind, previous careers, upbringing. What do I fear?
Yeah, what's your biggest fear, man?
Fear. I don't know. What do you fear?
Failure.
So stupid.
And
you are so on your way to becoming an influencer.
And giving
failure.
Up. No.
Failure is my biggest fear.
Nice.
I hope to fail. I mean, a fear to fail.
Yeah. Fear's a great motivator.
But I think failure is a motivator, but it's also a great catalyst for new beginnings. 100%. But I don't know why you got to be fearful of it.
I don't live in fear. But if someone said, "What do you fear?" Yeah, failure. Not
but
getting there.
Science is all about failure. Like science, if I test,
I didn't say that my fear keeps me in my house looking at my toenails 24/7. I said that's a fear. Fear. Would you respect me if I said I'm fearless? Because no one is.
I would say rule number 1 is Sekou.
Everybody's full of shit.
Everybody's full of shit.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Divided by 2, round down.
That's my new one. Divided by 2, round down.
Yeah.
Divided by 2, round down?
Divided by 2 and round down. Whatever a property investor says, a real estate investor, a restoration contractor, divided by 2 and round down.
How many sexual conquests have you had?
Yeah, I've had 3,000. Okay, so you've had 4.
Yeah. Because we're gonna round down a lot.
Yeah.
My biggest fear, honestly, let me give you a real answer.
Because apparently mine didn't pass the.
I'm just fucking with you. I mean, probably the fear of being alone, like, because I am a little bit older now and because I've never been married, don't have any kids, like, and I don't have a current female prospect in my life. It's like, I am getting older, and if I want to have a family, I probably should try to pursue that. But and it's probably the fear of. Rejection is part of life. Like, I'm okay with rejection. It just happens. But the fear is like, oh shit, maybe there's not a one for me.
Sure.
You know, like a partner in that respects.
Well,
but
like
at the same time, I don't put myself out there at the moment.
Yeah, but like you say, there's 10,000 of you. So if there's 10,000 of you, then there's 10,000 ones for you. So you got to play the odds, bro.
But I don't believe in the whole "she's the one, you're my better half."
No, it's all about timing, man.
I think if you should be able to be happy on your own. You don't need another person to make you happy.
Okay, who's Tony Robbins now? For fuck's sake, Jesus Christ!
Who do I fear? Haters. We already talked about that.
Yeah. How important is discipline to your process?
Jeez, I wish I had more discipline. It's funny because, like, you know, getting out of the Marines, you're like, make my bed, do this, go to the gym, run the stairs, blah blah blah. But then every day you're like, man, I'll sleep. Like even today, it's like, okay, we had a couple things rescheduled. It's like, okay, well, we don't need to be in the studio until like noon. Cool. You know, and I feel bad because Daisy's here like at 7 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, my bad. I should have been here. But discipline, it probably is very important. But currently in my life, that's probably a huge, and that's one thing I'm trying to work on in my next hire is being more organized. Like that's one of the things Daisy's working on is the organization of things. Because Seiko and I both, we've talked about this, is we're kind of not, we lack in that department.
Gotcha.
Not to throw you under the bus, sir, but I'm just trying to make it to where you never leave. You can't leave because there's so much evidence on the internet that I don't know.
Do you consider yourself to be ambitious?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. I consider
Conquer
you to
the
be
world.
ambitious.
Conquer
as
the
well.
world, man.
Yes.
You know?
Take their soul, bro. 100%.
Well, I mean, it goes back the Jolly Green Giant. You could still be kind and crush somebody.
Absolutely, you can.
You know, like if like I said, would it matter? Like if I knock somebody out in the rugby pitch, does it matter that I'm smiling, or would it be better? Would they be knocked out better if I was like roar?
I would like it more if you were rar.
But is it more intimidating if I'm like, oh hey there?
It's funnier, for sure. I don't know about more intimidating. What's on your career bucket list?
Ooh.
And your personal bucket list?
What's your bucket
Skydiving?
List?
Oh boy. Man, that's great. I'd like to live out of this country for a year or two.
Yeah.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah. Good timing.
I'd like to disappear into the Patagonia for a year.
I think that'd be cool. I think career bucket list would be to get everything here firing to where it's like, whether I'm here or I'm not here, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. If I'm here, I'm value add, but if I'm not here, no one notices.
That's a great. That's a great.
That would
goal.
be a great. That's a goal bucket list type situation. Another bucket list would be to be seen as a peer by a lot of influencer type people. Mm-hmm. Where like one of the coolest things when I did the REI Expo was, and the Day for Investors, was no one really knew who I was. But the people who knew who I was, the people that needed to know who I was knew who I was.
Yeah. So
like your CEOs, your owners, your business owners, the those type of people, they all knew who I was. But it wasn't until I started doing more stuff with Papelio on camera that the public started knowing who I was. Because even now with the event that we did with Donovan, I get on stage, I'm like, does anybody know who I am? And only like 10% of the crowd knew who I was, which was in some ways kind of cool, but some ways like, shit, man, I got to get back out there.
Yeah.
Because even my channel, I haven't done shit for my channel.
Well, it's very weird how you can be very active, and then if
6 months.
Yeah, and
if you're not active for 6 months, you're forgotten.
Yeah, I mean, it's because that is everyone's newspaper.
That's an arbitrary number. Like it's probably even quicker than that.
I think it is.
Like if you stop doing stuff for 2 weeks, you're gone.
Right.
But 6 months, you're really gone.
Yeah. Do you regret any of your life choices or career path decisions?
I hate when people are like, no regrets, man.
How does anyone have no regrets?
I know, right? It's like
that must be awesome.
No,
I want to meet those people.
I know, but it's such a stupid response. Like, I think one of the regrets I have is, so when I went in the Marines, I went into the reserves because my parents wanted me to go to college. And when I signed up, I was 17, so I had to get parental signatures. What I should have done is either not gone in the Marines or gone active duty. I love that I became Marine. I love that I was in the Marines, and I love my time in the Marines. But the reality is, as a reservist, you're like second class. Even at boot camp, you're like reservists. You know, you're like, dude, I got the same amount of training. In some ways, I got better training than the active duty guys. In a lot of ways, I knew my job better because I got sent to more schools. So there be times in training, like when you're with active duty units, I would know my job better than them. And there were some times I was doing the job of somebody who was 3 or 4 or 5 ranks higher than me because I knew my job. But my regret with that is if I would just gone active duty, that would be a career. Or if I just went to college, I could be more college, and maybe I would have played football in college.
Yeah.
Because that was another regret, is not playing football in college because I didn't think I was skilled or big enough. But then as I got bigger and got into college, I was like, motherfucker, I'm bigger than these guys.
Yeah.
You know, I'm more athletic than these guys.
No doubt.
Especially when I started playing rugby, I was like, dude,
Yeah.
man, why did I play football? But, you know, whatever. No regrets, man. But with the Marine thing, it's like we went 9/11. 9/11 was a weird time, especially being in the military. Because, like, my bags were packed that day. We had to check in 3 times a week. Or not a week, 3 times a day. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm here. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Because we didn't know shit.
Right.
And then it became once a day. Hey, I'm ready to go. My bags are packed. My bags are packed. Ready to go. And then it was once a week. And then it was non-existent. It's like, no big deal. Because back then, they were only taking volunteers. But because I was so good at my job, whatever the hell that means, I was deemed essential personnel. Because I was like a training NCO at the time. So because I knew my job so well, I couldn't go to war because that would break unit cohesion. And at the time, they wanted the unit to be able to be sent off. So that is a regret for me. It's a triggering thing, is like the fact that yes, I was in the Marines, but like I'm in that select class of Marines that in the past 20 years of war never saw combat. And in the Marines, you don't join the Marines for college education. You go because you want to blow shit up and serve your country.
Yeah.
So if you're in the Marines and you never go to combat, and most people don't understand this, like they're like, no, you serve your country, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay. But people in the Marines, they get it. Like, especially the ones that never saw combat. They're like, yeah, I totally get that, because you don't feel like you're enough.
It'd be like going to practice all the time, but never actually playing in a game.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not trying to oversimplify.
That's exactly what it's like. But not just that, but then everybody on the team does go to the game.
Yeah.
But you're still practicing. You're like, geez, when's my shot?
Did you have some, postpartum depression after that? You didn't get to go?
No, I mean, it was more of in the Marines, and I'm sure the military as a whole, you get the big green weenie.
Okay.
You get screwed by the big green weenie.
Okay.
Which is, the government or
right.
whatever. Yeah. And what it was is like, so I got passed over for promotion because in my service record book, my SRB, they had me down as a rifle failure. Well, if anybody in the military has ever gone to the rifle range, nobody leaves the rifle failure. You keep shooting until you pass the test. Period. Because if your NCO doesn't do that, then you stay there overnight and you keep shooting until you pass, because they don't want anybody to fail. Because then you're kicked out of the Corps. So obviously I passed. Everybody passes. Yeah. They just have to shoot a lot. But in my record book, they had me as a failure. So I went 2 years without a promotion, but I was still doing way above my job. And so it was crazy. But anyway, so I got passed up for that. And then there was a buddy of mine who was getting promoted. And there was one time he got an award. He got a naval accommodation medal. And then they read the description. They read the accommodation. Everything that they said was the shit I did. And he didn't do it. So literally they gave him an award because they wanted him to stay in the Corps because his time was getting up. They also promoted him because they wanted him to re-up. And literally after they gave him that award, he came to me and was like, sorry, man, I don't know what the fuck this is about. This sucks. So, like, they wouldn't let me go to war. and they were. I don't want to say they were screwing me over but anybody in the military, they know.
Yeah.
It's like, it just happens, and you're just like, okay, my time's up. Like, okay, I'm done. Because at a certain point, it's just a job that you don't get paid much for.
Was it a relief when you discharged?
I mean, not really. It was still kind of like I mean, sometimes I regret it. I was like, man, I should have stayed in for my 20.
Right.
You know, like, because you did get to do cool stuff. You do random. I mean, have you ever hiked for 10 miles while you were asleep?
No, that's a crazy story.
Yeah, just like, you know, I mean, but again, it was the big green we, like, hey, everybody get on this plane. We're flying to Houston, and then we're gonna, because everybody's wearing their, well, back then you had your jungle boots, your dress boots. Now they don't have to polish their shit, but you were wearing your parade boots, and all of a sudden we're humping, and you're like, this is stupid, and just falling asleep because you're tired while you're walking. But anyway, my stories in the military are nothing compared to like the real Marines, as I would say. But again, I know that's absurd to most people because I did do my time. I did get my training. You know, it was fun. I don't regret it, but the regret is not just going full steam with it. You know, because originally I was like, oh, well, I'll go to the reserves, I'll get my college degree, and I'll become a Mustang. A Mustang is somebody who's enlisted first and then becomes an officer. And, you know, you get in there and then you see the bureaucratic side of everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I do have bad hearing from it, though, so that's fun.
Do you?
Artillery go big boom. Big boom. Big gun go big boom.
Ears ring. Can't hear no more.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm sorry. Did I leave you on a low note? You're like, his excitement went nowhere.
That's it, man.
He's like, I'm done. This sucks.
You blew through all of that. You just decimated that question board.
Well, the rejection. I don't know. Women's rejecting me. Breaks my heart.
You talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Was there ever a job you wanted that you didn't
Yes.
get?
Yeah. I really wanted to. So when I worked in the Middle East, I met a couple of guys that worked for the USO. And I was like, man, this is really cool. So after working with Tim, I really, really, really wanted to work for the USO. And I worked my ass off to get a job with them. Because I was full on, I'm cool making $60,000 the rest of my life and working for a nonprofit. Because again, you know, you work in the Middle East, you're like, man, my life. Actually, I tried to go for them twice. After I left there, after leaving the Middle East, I tried to get a job with the USO. And then I tried to get a job after working with 2020 REI. And I tried hard. Like, I emailed the CEO, Twittered the CEO. I got references. I was reaching out to the different things. And like, I have the event. I have the capabilities. I have the chops. I have the personality. And I never got a call back. I just couldn't get them to. I was like, dude, I would have been the best employee you ever had. And because I've been in the service for, I'm passionate about this stuff. And I even tried volunteering. Never got called up to volunteer either. And it was just like I would have loved to have a career with the USO.
What's the best part now about being your own boss?
I'll let you know when I figure that out.
Yeah, fax me.
No, I don't even have a fax machine. The best part about being your own boss is pretty much being in the entrepreneur space for the last 10 years. I've always worked and been treated like I was a part of the owner, and I made a lot of decisions on my own. Like, you don't bring me on your team if you don't want that wall knocked down.
Right.
Like, if you want to have a say in how that wall's coming down, you need to talk about that before you bring me on. Because, like, I'm the guy where you're like, hey, I want this wall to go away, and then the wall's already gone because I've already started on it.
Right.
So the best part about being on my own as an entrepreneur, small business owner, is going, okay, there's zero leashes, and I can go as fast or as slow, left or right, solely based off me and what the team dictates to do, versus having an ego or other people's decisions or other motivations dictate how that goes.
Sure.
Because being in this world, ego plays a lot.
Yeah, man, those
it kills.
personality clashes are what take down a lot of great enterprises.
But at the same time, there's always decisions that are made that are above your pay grade that you don't know about.
Right.
So a lot of times you're like, you may be going 1,000 miles an hour and told to stop on a dime, but you don't see why, because you don't get the full picture.
Yeah.
But when you're on your own, you have the picture because you're drawing and you're building and you're painting the picture of your own.
All at the same time.
Yeah. So you get to make those decisions, and you get to throttle or throttle down or whatever analogy you want to use.
Yeah.
So
Put the pedal to the metal.
So now you can wrap up.
Let's wrap up, man. If a
I'm giving you permission to wrap up.
If a client wants to reach out to you, Ryan, how can they do that?
They can just DM me on Instagram, Ryan S. Harper, at Ryan S. Harper.
That was easy enough.
They can, and it's Ryan S. Harper, not Ryan Sharper. S stands for Scott.
Gotcha.
I'll give you one more nugget.
Okay.
My mom wanted me to be a writer, so she named me Ryan Scott Harper because she wanted me to go by R. Scott Harper, like F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Wow.
I am not a writer, and therefore I go by Ryan. But if pretty much all social handles, Ryan S. Harper is me.
All right.
Even OnlyFans.
That's good to know. Jesus. On that note, we'll end.
For real.
Even only.
OnlyFans.com/Ryan S. Harper.
Just ridiculous. There's no way you have an OnlyFans. Well, that was awesome. Hope you enjoyed that. I sure know I did. Ryan really brings that high energy to the table, which is, something that draws a lot of people into Ryan's life. He's got that very magnetic, attractive personality. Man, we talked a lot about a ton of stuff, and hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'd love to know what you think about these podcasts. We put them out there, and hope you enjoy them. Hope you watch them. But leave us a comment below. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent. I'd still like to know what you think. I'd love to know what you would like to hear about if you've got any recommendations. You can always hit me on Instagram at Jess from the Northwest, or email me if you'd like to work together live at autographconstruction.com. I'll see you guys next time.